here. Headphones above there. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
we've been able
No.
to.
Okay.
Yep.
Quiet sign.
Fantastic. All right. So, I figure I'd start off this podcast with a phrase that just popped into my mind, and I feel like it really, really has embodied me in the recent years. Before you had my apathy, now you have my malice.
Oh no.
I feel like that's really become my approach to a lot of things. Political, games, social, economic. I didn't care for a really long time about a whole lot of things. And then they made me care. And now I hate them. And I want them to die. And every single day that passes where they continue the behavior they are performing, that slider of passive hatred slowly ticks over to active hatred.
It's the meme of the why couldn't you just leave me alone to play my video games?
I just wanted to play video games. But now here we are. Line up against the wall.
Yes.
But yeah. So I was the only tier 1 on call today for like 2 hours or so. Because my entire fucking team is a bunch of dip fucks who are so unaware that, quite frankly, I think they might qualify for endangered species status. I'm aware it doesn't work like that, but that's how fucking retarded they are.
Is this one of those I'm shocked they haven't won a Darwin Award yet kind of deals?
No, they're just so they all decided. So we have 2 of them out already. Great start, let me tell you.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, two of them are out already, and then the other 4 all decide to go to lunch at the same fucking time.
Yes.
What about-
And then
Right.
one of them decides that even though he's not at lunch, he just doesn't feel like picking up phone calls anymore, so he puts himself on the do not disturb. And then the last guy actually had to go to the bathroom. It's whatever. But what that ended up doing was basically putting me alone on as the only person answering phones for like a solid 2 fucking hours. Because the second the other guy got back, he was on the phone as well. But he wasn't answering them, he was calling people.
Okay.
So,
he was still doing his job though.
yeah, he was still doing his job, unlike the rest of them. But he wasn't
Okay.
answering.
He just
I was
wasn't-
about to say
Yeah.
he was fighting for his life apparently in that toilet for 2 hours.
I know.
I mean, listen.
Some days it be like that.
I was gonna say, some
feel like
days
that's a
that
skill
is
issue.
in fact the case. Like I say,
No.
listen. Listen. Sometimes I've had too much milk to drink, and
That's
I'm
a skill
lactose
issue.
intolerant.
That's actually a skill issue.
This was
Drink
before
more
I
milk,
knew I
bro.
was lactose intolerant as a child.
Okay, but literally being lactose intolerant is a skill issue. You can induce tolerance to lactose.
Yeah, there was that girl that actually went and did exactly that. She said it was rough, and it took about a month,
it's a
but
rough 3
afterwards-
weeks, but you don't have any problems afterwards because now you're tolerant to lactose. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to
And
tell you,
then-
I was drinking milk every day, and
Clearly
it
not enough.
continued to be an issue.
Massive skill issue then. But anyway, so Sign, how goes the Blue Archive chapter? Are we any closer to breaching containment?
I've got like 2,000 words written on it, but I'm behind on everything else. So
That's fair enough.
it's to the side while I work on the things I need to work on.
True enough.
And I didn't get anything done today because work. So
Yeah, yeah.
after the stream, I have to catch up on today's chapter before I can even look at Blue Archive.
True. But yeah, so you know, today was a day. It was what the fuck? Okay. That was a thing. Yep, today was a day filled with pain and sorrow, and now I'm going to inflict it upon the world. I'm not dead, and I'm going to make that everyone else's problem.
Okay.
As you did.
As I do. The
That is most
crossover
unfortunate.
square has been selected. This is a most unfortunate occurrence. Very
Oh.
well. What story shall we read crossovers of today?
Oh no.
Pokemon. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh, we
Wait,
almost were
important
fate!
question. Has Sign gotten an L yet?
No. Shockingly.
I shall leave it unmarked.
Pokemon!
And
Streams in a
Battle
row,
Tech!
Sign has robbed us of our extra free square.
Free space, yes, indeed. Yes.
Sucks to suck.
I guess so.
You wouldn't
But
know,
yeah,
would you?
no, it's not super enthusiastic about the current state of Pokemon. Let me tell you, not
What?
super happy
No,
with it.
but
There's a
But
current
Sneaky,
state of Pokemon.
don't
Yeah,
you
the
know?
current state's dog shit.
The Switch 2 can render the amount of Pokemon on screen for Sword and Shield finally, or is it Violet and
Scarlet and
whatever the
Violet.
other one is? Scarlet and
Scarlet and
Violet.
Violet.
Well, yeah, you see, Max, that's
Now instead
cool
of
and
badly
all.
rendering 3 Pokemon, it can badly render 6.
True.
Ah!
Yeah, see,
My friend sent screenshots. Look, guys, I'm like, I see no difference here. This is
Yeah.
literally a still picture. What am I supposed to be seeing here?
yeah, so personally, my hot take on the Switch 2 is anyone that buys the Switch 2 should change their sexuality to cuck and put it on their business card.
Yeah. Don't buy that piece of shit.
I was leaning towards getting one down the line, and then the news about they may just brick your console if they think you're hacking
if
or
they think you're
modding. It's like,
modding.
oh,
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Well-
what?
yeah.
No.
Now, supposedly
hard
they've amended it to Nintendo account services. I'm like, okay, but you're still saying you're gonna brick my
Mm.
console because you can just lock down the account service,
Mm,
own the console. I'm not
Yeah.
stupid.
mhm.
You didn't say online services. You said account
said
services,
Account services.
which means
Yeah.
And
everything.
of course, obviously, you would need to have a Nintendo account to operate the Switch 2.
No,
Oh, of course, because everyone's
that's
going to
only
that.
for online stuff.
Well, that's what you think.
I was
Let me
about to say,
rephrase
yeah,
that.
Sneaky sounds
As it
right on this
stands
one.
right
No,
this second.
No, because the
Oh,
Switch 2
okay.
no longer has physical keys, Atin. It is now all online DRM
Yep,
verification.
it's all-
That's right, they did do that.
So you'd have to at
Also,
least query
you-
the server once every time you
Yeah.
play a game.
Also,
Yep.
the only way you get away with that on the Switch 1 is if you don't buy any digital games whatsoever. You stick to all physical and somehow bypass the need to use the account services, which locks you off out of a massive section of the Switch library, because there's a fuck ton of stuff that only has a digital release on the first Switch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So once they say, "Oh, hey, we see that we think you were modding your Switch," cool. Your account is now gone.
We
That's
feel...
everything.
See, like, that's the other key part there is they use the words,
Feel
we
like-
feel if you've modified your Switch. So it's not
Yeah.
even. It could be even a case of you didn't.
can't
You had
prove
the switch was dead. You forgot about it for a couple months. You plugged it back in. You turned it on. So your Switch is now massively out of date. Nintendo's just like, oh, massively out of date Switch must be a modder. Lockdown.
Yeah.
It's
Modder
got
who
some
finally
real.
connected.
It's got some real heavy Rockstar vibes of we detected something hooking into GTA 5. Well, what was it detecting? Because I wasn't running anything. We can't tell you. Oh, I see.
Well, no,
Interesting.
it's even worse than that, Max, because they straight shit fucking told me it was Discord's. It was Discord's API hooking in.
So you
Oh, I know,
it's
but
Discord.
most of the other shit heels stick to the script because
Oh yeah,
I
true,
don't
true.
know, they're bootlickers or something. I really don't know.
But yeah, no, man, that pissed me off so much. Oh yeah, it was Discord that did it. Okay, so you're gonna unban me? No.
I'm
But
just
you,
mad because
Mm.
but
that
you
was
know I
literally
didn't.
that
Like,
was the first time Sneaky and I had used Discord was that
yep,
day, and we're like, oh, we should hop into GT Online for a bit, and we did, and we dicked around for 30 minutes.
yep.
And then the next time we logged in, it's like, what do you mean I've been banned for 30 days? Where the fuck is my character?
Yep. Yeah, it was just like,
Because
okay, eat
the, the
dick.
the only cheat tool I use, Cheat Engine, which I keep around for JRPGs,
Mhm.
has you have to actively hook it into a video game for it to be of use.
Yep.
Oh, just wait. They're gonna probably start, scanning the computer for things that could do that at some point.
Oh, that's
Well,
already
that's
happening with
Yeah.
Valorant.
called easy.
Yeah, you
That's called
install
easy
Riot
anti-cheat
games,
as
that's already
well.
happening.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not even that you're using it. It's, well, you've got the tool on your computer and you could use it, so we're just gonna preemptively ban
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Yep.
Pretty much.
That's fucked.
Yeah, no,
Instead
I
of
remember a case
and
of some pro who got banned because on his computer he had some fucking cheat table for a single player game, and
Uh-huh.
the always on kernel level cheat detection that installing a Riot game to your computer installs detected it, and so they just banned him from Riot Games for daring to cheat in a
Mm,
single player game that they didn't make.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's
So,
some bullshit.
yeah. No, it's total fucking horse shit. Every fucking company that gets involved in that dog shit can go fucking die. Unfortunately, they won't. Nintendo will face no repercussions for their actions. Riot will face no repercussions for their actions because,
Of course not.
unfortunately, there's about 70% of the human population who are too stupid to functionally live, but have lots of money.
True.
Mm.
So, yeah. Anyway, gentlemen, let us get into the Pokemon crossover section, which surely will have no horror stories to terrify us in the night.
definitely not.
Definitely not. So this is a
Somehow I don't believe you.
Pokemon and Lilo and Stitch crossover called Let's Go Stitch Pokemon World. Timelines breaking, a child lost before his time, and a prophecy hanging in the balance. When Ash Ketchum is set to die before the journey can begin, Arceus and the Legends took to other realms to search for champions. Wait, wait, so instead of just making sure Ash doesn't fucking die, you just go
They're
replace
just
him?
gonna replace him. Yep.
They have the power level to go to other realities, and they're like, no, I mean, we could save him, but
Nah.
He
But
looked at him
what
and
if?
said, I could get someone who's not a fucking loser.
true.
That's an option.
To this end, Lilo, Palaki, Stitch, and Angel are summoned into the Pokemon world. How will this Ohana save Ash Ketchum? Oh, so they were summoned to save Ash Ketchum. Why? Why couldn't Ash just be saved by the Pokemon gods.
Because
Or
fuck
why
you, that's
couldn't
why. Shut up, Sneaky.
why couldn't they just say, "Oh well, lost cause," and send him over to Lilo and Stitch to help with gathering up the experiments?
True.
True. Gotta catch them
Because
all.
that's the point of the TV show, was them capturing the experiments. And Ash would unironically be useful for that, being
Yeah.
stronger than the average baseline human.
True.
Uh,
But yeah. So apparently this is an Ash times Lilo story, which okay. Bold direction. I'm not sure I'm really all that comfortable with a story where two 10-year-olds are in a romance with each other. I feel like that's kind of
No.
yeah,
Iffy?
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Questionable.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I think reading about teenage romance is fine. I just think even just writing about not even teenagers getting into romance is even if it's with another non-teenager, I still it just feels weird.
That's a you thing. Most people don't have that problem.
I'm aware. Doesn't mean I'm not right.
I mean, I get it, but pointing out that that's just you. Most people don't have that issue.
Like I said, I know. I'm aware. Unfortunately, yeah. But I don't know. I think I'm right on this one. I think it's really weird because you know what it is. Again, it's like one of those things where if like the author is like 14 or something, it's like they're writing about a 10-year-old. It's like, oh, okay, like you're writing about two 10-year-olds because you probably had some sort of crush like 2 years ago or something. It's like, all right, fine. You know, that's one thing, right? But when it's like a 28-year-old writing a story for an audience who is 35 and older, because let's be clear here, Lilo and Stitch doesn't have an audience under the age of 25.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does. There.
a live action remake is coming. Also, Lilo and Stitch probably
Oh.
would still do pretty well with today's younger generations.
Oh, I'm not saying it wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
would.
saying that our generation was raised on that, and the Zoomer generation isn't being shown it.
What's this? There was a remake of Lilo and Stitch, or a sequel where there was another girl.
I know.
And the people who were probably like 17, 18 would have grown up watching that.
It flopped, didn't it?
Yeah,
I
it
did not know
flopped.
that had a sequel. That's why would
It
you make a
finished.
sequel?
No, it finished. I'm pretty sure it didn't get cancelled or flopped. It just finished, and
I didn't say it got canceled.
Well, I
just
didn't
said
say.
it
Yeah, I
flopped
didn't say
and
it didn't
do
finish.
good.
I just said it flopped because I never I heard about it like once and then never again. So I'm kind of feeling like it kind of didn't really make a cultural splash.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot they made extra fucking movies.
Yeah.
I forgot there actually was a second one.
Yep.
Stitch
Wait.
has
there's
split.
three. There's three.
Wait,
Then
hold.
there was
they actually made a sequel?
Leroy. There was Leroy in Stitch. Yeah. So
No.
the direct sequel, Lilo and Stitch 2, I'm pretty sure was a direct to DVD, as many Disney sequels.
Oh
ended
yeah.
up
Well,
being
Yeah.
just,
the 2000.
By the way, I just want to be
What's
clear
the
here.
other
Lilo
one?
and Stitch is a 23-year-old movie.
Ugh.
Yeah, it is.
Ugh.
Yeah. So like I said,
Honestly,
There-
any Zoomer who knows about Lilo and Stitch were probably shown it
by their parents.
older family relatives or
Yeah.
parents, yeah.
Yeah, but
Remember,
but like
Lion
that's like.
King is-
But that's like a minuscule
time.
amount, because I mean, you got to keep in mind is that the Zoomer generation and the Alpha generation are half the size of millennials. So you're talking about the portion of millennials that had kids, the portion of the millennials that had kids that were fans of Lilo and Stitch, the portion of millennials that had kids were fans of Lilo and Stitch and showed their kids Lilo and Stitch, and then the portion of the kids that were shown Lilo and Stitch that liked Lilo and Stitch and remembered it.
Mm.
A
So-
percentage of a percentage of a percentage.
Yeah, we're moving into the
percentage.
the fractions of percents of population here. So like that's what I'm saying, right? No one's writing a Lilo and Stitch story on fanfiction.net of all places for the 17-year-olds who saw the latest movie. Like that's maybe one or
No,
two
they're writing
stories.
it for the adult nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying though. So you got like a 28-year-old writing for 35-year-olds about the romance between two 10-year-olds.
I mean, it could also just be people who have a fetish for destroying childhoods.
True.
I mean, it's a fetish either way.
Yeah.
But no, like this guy, this person's totally fucking cooked. They've written 16 stories, Dragon Ball Z, Jackie Chan Adventures. So Jackie Chan Adventures immediately makes them a millennial. We all know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
I know it. We all know it.
Lilo and Stitch, Ben 10,
Yeah,
original Ben
Powerpuff
10
Girls,
ones were
Lilo
there.
and Stitch, Naruto, Ben 10, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ladybug,
Yep.
Total Drama. So not
Total
only,
Drama,
so they might be a zillennial. So they might be a zillennial,
Yeah.
but the point still stands in that this person is a grown adult who is writing stories for children for other grown adults.
Either that or they're just stuck in their childhood. They don't want to be.
Well, I mean,
adults.
they probably go on Reddit. So, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
No, can't argue.
Yeah, so they joined in 2018, which I mean feels kind of weird. I feel like this might be a late joiner, so I don't think the age 13 rule works here because age 13 would have put them at being born in 2005, which would have made them way too late to see anything like Lilo and Stitch, Ben 10.
Well, alright, no,
They
hang on.
they could have lost their
Remember-
original. When could they have lost their original profile? Like
I mean,
lost their
maybe.
password or something?
Yeah, but okay, the kids whose parents, the generation before the millennials, right? They would have shown their kids who came after the millennials, the immediate generation after, all those movies because they also watched them in late childhood. So you've got like three.
So here's the problem, though, right? Ben
thing
10,
where they would have seen it.
Ben 10
Ben 10
Yeah.
was
much remake.
not a staying factor in the culture. Like we watched it as
True.
kids, but it's not
Because it was
something
on.
I have ever heard. Yeah, it's not. It was because it was on. It's not something that I've ever heard. I don't think. No, I genuinely have never heard someone say I showed Ben 10 to my kids.
No, instead I've
Yeah.
heard.
I've heard
my kids watching.
plenty of people say I showed Looney Tunes to my kids.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
With Ben 10, what I've got is my kid's watching Ben 10, but it's a new one I don't really like compared to.
I don't get
used
it. I don't like the art style. I don't like. Yeah.
Yeah.
to. Ben 10's been remade so much with different fucking versions.
The art
there's
style's
also the-
fucking so ass.
There's also 2 sequels based on the original fucking Ben 10, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, that teenagers also were watching after watching.
The
Ben 10.
yeah, but Ultimate Alien was it Ultimate Alien
Mm.
or Alien Force?
Alien Force.
Which was the
Force
one that
first,
actually had the good art?
They were both the same, but they were
Alien
sequels.
Force.
So Alien,
No,
it
it
went
was
regular Ben
Ultimate
10,
Alien.
Alien Force, then Ultimate Alien, where they showed off the Ultimate Alien forms.
Apparently, there's going to be
yeah,
a dust storm in Illinois, or so my cell phone is attempting to inform me. I wasn't aware I was in Depression era Kansas.
Well, you are now.
Yeah, that's Alien
No.
Force.
Or I knew about Alien Force, Ultimate Alien. I just know there is a Ben 10 where they went from the very nice cell shaded stylings into like this really garbage Cal Arts abomination.
Was it Omniverse?
Yeah, that was the newer one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ben 10 Omniverse? is the
Yeah.
new
The
one?
Omniverse. Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, that
Oh.
is disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate it.
So they make a
mean-
Lego Man alien and it's stuck in that art style, huh?
I was gonna say,
I'm willing to bet that's the best looking alien in that art style.
Why
That's
is
like
Ben
Ben-
giving me the
stuff-
Oh,
the stuff with Ben
why?
is
Why
it's
is
fine.
Ben giving me the fucking equals 3 face?
Yeah, I
Why
was
is
gonna
he
say,
ooh-wooing?
this stuff, this Omniverse stuff needs to go.
Ugh.
This looks awful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so fucking terrible. Sasuke's English voice actor. Oh, that's cool.
I mean, that's cool. Unfortunately, the talent or lack thereof of a voice actor has nothing to do with how
the
someone
art.
feels about the art style. Like, if
Yeah.
someone is fundamentally turned off by the art, the most you might get is them going, "I'll listen to this show."
Yeah. But Ben 10's not a show about listening. It's a very visual show. Like,
Right, I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's the most you
Yeah.
might get from someone.
But yeah, so they updated this profile actually 3 days ago. So we'll see what they say in their bio here, and then we can judge them heavily. So now I think they're a furry, so I'm already judging pretty heavily on this one.
as one should.
If anyone wants to follow along, here you go.
Oh God.
Hello everyone, it's great to be here. I'm here to spread fun fanfics and get some worlds I created out of my head and into a spot that you can enjoy them. I know I won't always be successful, but I'm confident that at least someone will smile. Beware, I use the word anywho a lot. That's fair, author. I use the word anywho a lot as
Okay,
well.
Canadian.
As far as no, I don't think it's Canadian. I think it's just a affection of millennials talk.
Ugh.
Like, yeah, it's just some areas of millennials just like picked up phrasings like that, like anywho, yeah, so, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a normal word.
Yeah, but not the way I use it in normal conversation.
This is one oh wait, no, there's one. I was about to say this is one of those authors that fucking crosses over all the childhood things, except he's got 2 Dragon Ball Z, pure Dragon Ball Z fics, and a pure Pokemon fic.
Yeah. As far as my fanfics go, I'm open to suggestions. I can do death and destruction, but I will not do smut or cursing. Yeah, this person's a
Really?
millennial. This person's 110%
Yeah,
a millennial.
that's a Redditor.
I also won't do harems. They're a Redditor. When it comes to OCs, I'm pretty much open to share as long as credit's given where it's due, and they follow and act in the stories properly. So this is the funniest. This is such a double standard. Holy fuck. I'm okay with OCs so long as you keep them to my canonical interpretation of the OC. But I'm free to reinterpret canon for my fanfics. But you can't reinterpret my canon. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, that is a stance, I suppose.
Nah, you know what? If I was a coke fiend like Stephen King, and I
What?
churned out stories the way he does, I 110% would have wielded that power for evil, and I would have just made reply stories to every single fucking person who goes and writes that absolute slop of here's my version of canon, where they just completely reinterpret the entire house into an open farm. And I would just make reply stories to them where I reinterpret their OC as like a bumbling fucking moron.
Oof. Maybe that's what I
So-
need. I need to
And then
see
when they
something
get pissed
change
about
in
it,
themselves.
I tell them it's fan fiction, anything could happen.
Oh no.
Well, I'm looking at this author's favorite stories, and in the favorite stories based on reviews, I found 3 authors we've gone over on stream before.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Yeah, so far.
Oh god. So yeah, anyway, double standard about their own OCs. Blah 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 blah. Anywho, I told you I use that word a lot. Time for lists. Alright, I love lists. My favorite animes are a bunch of childhood animes. And My Hero Academia, of course. Favorite
Unfortunate.
cartoons. Shaolin Showdown. Yeah, no, this person's a
Yeah,
millennial.
millennial.
Shall we-
No,
Uber
shall
Robot
this is
Monkey
not
Teen
even-
Titan
yeah.
Force Go is millennial.
Yeah,
Teen Titans don't like Go. That is millennial.
yeah. I'm sorry. This person is over the age of 30.
Yeah. Either that, no, 25 to over 30, because I'm 27 and this is all fit I also had to do with
True.
as
Fair enough.
17.
Favorite characters. Okay, yeah, we all know. I really appreciate how he has to reinforce. This is such Reddit behavior. I don't want to offend anyone. This list is not in order of top animes. This is just the order of things I've thought of. This is not a top anime list. I'm not saying Pokemon's better than Digimon. I'm not saying My Hero Academia is worse than Naruto. I'm really
He
glad
is-
he takes the time to make sure that everyone knows that he's just listing
He
his
doesn't wanna
favorite
forget that.
stuff, and it's not in
And he's
order.
not being offensive. He's
Yeah.
being as
Trigger them.
inoffensive as possible.
Upcoming
Honey barbecue or
fanfics,
sweet and spicy?
Sonic. No, he's doing a Ruby story. Ah!
Oh no. You
Yeah.
leave Ruby out of this. What did
Yeah,
Ruby
so
ever do to
he's got a
you?
Sonic story
Fix
going
this.
on here. Massive cartoon crossover universe for it. Okay, it sucks already. You haven't even written the story, and it already sucks. Chronicles of Team Jin, the Remnant Heroes edition. A world of bloody evolution cries for help, and when the world's greatest warriors are at the end of a losing war, the universe responds with heroes out of this world. Boo, Yang says. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure, buddy. That sounds really fucking lame. Heliotrope and the Avatar. The spirit of change watched over the Avatar in disappointment for thousands of years, but draws the line as the new incarnation with potential is forced to lose his best qualities.
Yeah,
Oh,
Aang
what?
never lost his best qualities though. In
The
fact, he
other
stuck to them even
spirits-
to the ending.
Even decided he can't have the family he wants, angered with her fellow spirits, Change sends Avatar Aang to the Cosmos along with benders he'll need to master the elements. How will this impact the world of 12?
Oh,
Probably some dog shit garbage cartoon that came out after we stopped watching cartoons.
It is. They've misspelled Krosmos. That's why it's Krosmoz.
Oh,
I have
Well,
no idea
that
what
would
the
do
fuck
it.
this is.
1,000 miles per hour. Tales was there's a Sonic
Oh, it's
story.
It's Wack.
Eggman disappeared.
The French?
Of course it is. It's always the French. Wow. This is total drama mass crossover.
And Total Drama is another visual fucking show that doesn't work well as reading.
No, works fucking terribly as reading. Also, Total Drama had so many in-jokes and references that it
Mhm.
only worked as a meta-breaking story.
And only for millennials.
Yeah, pretty much. Jackie Chan Ben 10. A girl longed for her parent. Jade times Ben. Very cool.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
I could kind of see the crossover in principle. I don't
All
like
right,
it,
so you
but
go
I
ahead
can
and you
see
guys
it.
can mark down V2 because apparently he's remade multiple of his stories multiple times. We have Pokemon World, old version, remake V2, remake V3.
I don't have V2. Oh wait, do I have
Jade
Pokemon
10 V2. So man, this guy is stuck. Chan in Bellwood classic, old rewrite, old version V3, V5.
That happens.
If it didn't
Bro.
work 4 times prior, why is it going to work the 5th time?
5?
Yeah, he just keeps getting
No.
older. Yes. He has had the same fucking ideas stuck in his head, and he just keeps rewriting it, thinking that this time he's gonna write it correctly. Holy shit.
Shannon Bell, Jate. Holy shit!
Oh
They,
my
it really
god.
is.
Tale of Two Heroes, Naruto and Goku switched.
1 strat.
Jesus Christ.
No, no.
Man, dude, you gotta let go. You gotta get off Reddit.
Mhm.
Bro, you just have to. You need to go touch.
Impossible.
He needs to go touch grass. I can say that.
Physically
I just
impossible.
touched grass this morning, so I can say that. But damn, bro,
I haven't. I haven't. It's too fucking cold and wet.
you need to go touch
Fucking-
fucking grass. God damn.
Fuck no! It's raining and 10 degrees Celsius outside. I'm not dealing with that shit.
10?
Ugh.
That's nothing.
And 10 degrees Celsius. That's what, 50 degrees. That's fucking nothing.
Yeah, I know, but it's also wet and I fucking hate the rain.
Loser.
You hate the rain?
Yeah,
What the fuck's the
Oh,
matter
wind
with
guy.
you?
I'm a wind guy. I like listening to the rain, but I hate being in it. I prefer wind.
Wow. Of all times to not have V2. I will say uncomfy age gap. So I will give everyone uncomfy age gap, not between the characters, but between the author and the age of the characters he's writing.
By the way, what was the on the wheel? I missed that. I'm guessing Pokemon if we found this guy.
Yeah, it's Pokemon crossovers. Yeah, but so anyway, let's keep moving. Let's keep it along, moving along here. We got Straw Hats, Pokemon Pirate. I would rather shoot myself. Let's see here. Pokemon Ninja. After failing the graduation exam for the 3rd time, Naruto discovers an old book with summon contracts in them for a thing called Pokemans. With his Pokemon partner and the love of his 2 teammates, of course he's got a harem, Naruto will take the elemental nations by storm. I mean, honestly, I don't think so. I'm sorry, but I think in a case of Naruto ninjas versus Pokemon, everything barring pseudo legendaries, I think Naruto ninjas win.
Mhm. There are some that's a bit like hard to deal with. Like for some, like Makago is fucking made of lava, so if you don't have some water style or earth style, it's a bit hard to deal with.
Yeah,
it's
sure,
by and large-
but that's like the same thing for Pokemon
Yeah.
in general, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
really count that against the ninjas.
I'm gonna be honest. No, wait, never mind. I was thinking that lightning would be as fast as lightning, but Pokemon wouldn't use real lightning. They use the weird energy lightning.
Yeah, they
Like
use
that.
weird aura type lightning. Yeah.
The only ones that would probably be using actual lightning would be legendaries.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. I feel like Pokemon isn't the cheat that you think it is for Naruto. Also, what a throwback story like this. The Pokemon Ninja. ninja. Naruto failed the exam 3 times and now he has a Pokemon. That's like 2007, 2008.
That's Sakura Demon Alchemist and her most fucking popular.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
That's like
Shifting foxes.
17 years ago, out of date.
Yeah.
It's late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times
God.
prior.
Yeah, that was like
Fuck,
the
I
big
even
surge of
remember
them.
I even remember what fucking Sakura Demon Alchemist named it, calling it Shifting Foxes with the fucking.
Does it fucking matter? Sakura Demon Alchemist. If we pull them up, they probably got over 800 stories now.
I'm bringing them up. I want to know.
I'll bet a quarter that's over 1,000.
320? Were they deleting stories or something?
Very likely.
Most
Because
Probably.
there's no way.
Yeah, most likely.
Oh no!
Yeah,
all of their
there's
stories
no
are in
way.
their archives. All their stories are in their archive.
Oh, they moved their stories to an archive profile.
Yeah, and then some of their drabbles have hundreds of fucking stories in there that never got more than a chapter or two.
Jesus Christ. That is just something else. That's crazy.
Mhm.
What's the longest story they even have on their fucking profile these days? So Drabble's at 800,000. Drabbles. Okay, so their longest official story posted to their main account still is a Harry Potter Kingdom Hearts crossover.
Oh. Wait, I think I remember that. That's not that. Oh, that is probably fucking old.
Where Xeon wakes up as female Potter, the girl who lived.
Yep, I remember that fucking fic, and when it was showing up in the Drabble fucking before she posted it.
Also, Harry Potter also shows up, or are they just using Harry Potter as an insert? So either Harry Potter's fucking himself, or
no, sorry.
or he's spit roasting his sister.
It's sister, I'm pretty sure. And Roxas is Harry, I think, wasn't it?
No, because it's marked here as Harry Potter times Xeon times Roxas.
Oh no, so Sakura
Oh,
Demon Alchemist did this
Xeon.
when they made to let people know what they were fucking inserting into. So Harry is Xeon, but they put it as the pairing.
Right.
It's just female Harry. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Sakura Demon Alchemist used to do this shit.
So we
Oh,
don't have
shifting foxes.
incest.
No.
Okay.
122,000 with fucking so many
I have no
stories.
words. This is such a classic psyop done on a professional level. This is
And then hey, they're shifting foxes.
on the level of the heat maps relationship study for how it exposes behaviors of certain groups. Okay, let me take a look at this. Unauthorized experimentation involving AI-generated comments. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, I remember hearing about
that
this.
Was them psyoping Reddit to shift them further.
Well, yeah, well, it wasn't. Well, no, it wasn't so much psyoping Reddit to shift them in a specific direction. The goal of the testing was to see if AI could be used to shift public opinions in either direction.
The answer is yes. It's called manufactured consensus.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but, you know, again, this is coming from the scientists who also have to run studies to see if air is breathable and water's wet.
Are the scientists who can't, properly define things we knew for years?
Yes. Okay, the CMV mod team needs to inform the community about unauthorized experimentation conducted by the university on CMV users involving a deployed AI-generated comments to study how AI can be used to change views. As I said, yeah. CMV rules do not allow the use of undisclosed AI-generated content. The researchers did not tell us. We would have told them no. I think that's why they didn't. We've requested an apology
What? You're not gonna get it.
Yeah,
You
so
better
our
be
entire
requested with a
user base
lawyer
of
and a-
4 million people got psyoped by a bunch of bots, and they're all retarded now. And so we're requesting an apology. Oh,
yes,
yeah, you'll
because an
show
apology
them.
is going to fix that.
Yeah. CMV rules do not allow the use of blah 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 blah. Concerns below have not been addressed by the researchers. Everyone here has a right to know about the experiment. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Described as follows. Drafting results. Oh, so I mean, at least the researchers did do a cleanup afterwards where they were like, hey, uh, here's all the accounts that were removed. Here's a list of active accounts. So at least there's that.
Yeah, but you're not going to unsway public opinion.
Oh,
Which,
totally, yeah.
You
No,
know,
you
kind
can't
of does
undo the
things like
public opinion,
affecting
yeah.
elections.
This is
So-
crazy. Some examples of how AI was deployed in this experiment was AI pretending to be victims of rape to sway opinions, AI acting as trauma counselors, AI acting as religious leaders.
Woo!
Oh, grifting in race war too. Excellent, well done.
Of course.
Cool, very cool. Trigger warnings, blah blah blah.
What the fuck do you get pinged for, Phoenix? What the hell?
What the fuck is this? Anyway, see, they will take the comments of the mod team very seriously. However, the researchers do remind the mod team they do not have any legal authority.
Oh, you can't do shit about it. That's their.
However, the
That's their
researchers
response.
also reiterated multiple times that they feel the AI did not do great harm.
Translation: you can't sue us because you can't prove financial damages.
Basically.
That's CYA, right there. Basic CYA.
Yeah.
Yeah, always cover your ass, brother.
We at the mod team declare this a human-only sub and reject AI.
Yeah, that's gonna fucking do anything.
Oh,
Unless you've
well,
intentionally
now
got
that you
things
said
in
so.
place to block AI.
Yeah.
You
Well,
would-
I mean, it's.
You know
I
what's
mean,
the funniest part is, though? The funniest part about any sort of method of trying to block LLM AI from doing this sort of infringement upon human conversation is you're actually going to end up blocking out a majority of retards and not the AI.
True.
Which, I mean, that would improve discourse.
It would definitely improve discourse, but you know, that's like U.S. government levels of war on AI failure. We declared war on AI. Now 50% of our population can't use the internet. Whoops.
Oops.
Hackrock, is this true?
Oops.
Luckily, this has been a massive win.
Hackrock, is this
Yes.
true?
Hey, Grok, is this true? Oh, God.
Also, bringing up Sakura Demon Alchemist made me look up Mad Raptor, and I am still so shocked that there is a person worse at summaries than Sign.
I know, it's insane. Damn, they really popping off in the comments too. We've been made aware now that there has been threats against the researchers. We just want to remind everyone that violence is never okay under any circumstances.
Bullshit.
The
it's
history
not.
books would say otherwise.
Humanity's
That's a
long history.
That's a
says
very
no.
interesting take.
What was the old joke? Oh yeah, violence is not the answer. Opens history book. Oh no.
Mm.
Oh no.
Except in
No,
all
no, no,
the
no, no, no,
times
no,
it
no, 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 no.
was.
Right.
Yeah. Or, you know, the ever classic, it is not the answer, it is the question.
The answer is
answer-
yes.
The answer's yes.
Well, I mean, you know, it's
Well, the
like
answer's how much?
what was the fucking joke made about the Dutch? Oh, fucking hell. I'm gonna retell it poorly, but it was something along the lines of, when it comes to the Dutch, the question isn't do it, the question is, the answer is steal it anyway, or something like
Yeah.
that. So, have a fleet, steal the spice trade. That wasn't a question, but they did it anyway. Cheers, my Dumbledore fixed his eyes like Slytherin difficulties. Special treat. Large apparatus. Uh-huh.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Okay, that is certainly something to be pinged with, Phoenix. You have an interesting group of people you associate with.
True.
The AI glows in the dark.
Radioactive oatmeal?
True. The AI does indeed glow in the dark, LeMay.
True.
The Reddit admin suspended all of the AI accounts. They're in maximum cope mode. Oh, the Reddit's dead. What is Reddit gonna do without its 90% bot population?
True.
Well, they'll mostly serve porn.
That was fed by bots.
Oh wow, they're really fucked then.
Oh yeah, MIT fed radioactive oatmeal. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, gotta really
I'm
love.
sorry, MIT did fucking what?
Fed radioactive oatmeal to disabled children, and they lied to them about the purpose of the experiment.
What was the fucking purpose?
The actual purpose was to see what happens when you induce radioactive mutation in someone who's already disabled.
Answer. They die.
They got
They
cancer
get
and
cancer
died.
and die.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I ain't no scientist, but I probably could have told you that one.
Yeah, see,
Right.
that's the. I mean, like, look, I've popped off about a lot of things on this podcast. The U.S. research grant system is possibly one of the worst things that ever existed.
Oh, our research grant system is listen. Objectively speaking, giving people money to advance science is a good idea. Giving
Sure.
people who have some
Sure.
weird ideas money to advance science is a good idea.
Yep.
The things that
Sure.
we have given money to advance science are bad ideas.
Well, it's not just
If-
bad ideas. The research grant system operates off of a queue system because it's retarded. And on top of that, if you aren't actively showing proof you're working on a research idea, every, was it 3 months, I think it was, you lose your place
Something
in
like
the
that.
queue to get funding. So basically, if you're not constantly producing results on your experiment, no matter what those results are, you lose funding. And then if you lose funding, you go to the back of the line and someone else gets your funding. So you can't come back with like, no, here's my thesis now that I've been able to take the time to work on it more. No, you have to wait. And it's not just like, oh, they have to wait some couple months again. No. We're talking about the queue system is so bad now that if a researcher loses their spot for funding, they effectively retire.
I see.
So that's why we have
no,
all these retarded research grants now about like, oh yeah, my thesis is about if breathing air hard makes you live longer. Because they're using the time, they're wasting money on this stupid experiment to try and come up with a new thesis idea. Yeah. And so now, and it's like, and then on top of that, the other problem is it works much like the government system of funding, which again, possibly one of the most retarded things that you'll ever hear in your life, in that the researcher has to work their way up to greater levels of funding, which means that if they don't spend $10 million on breathing air, then they won't get the $13 million they estimate they need for the life-saving cancer research. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Yes, it's the dumbest shit in existence. The idea behind it is that good researchers will get lots of money for successful ideas because they'll have a proven track record of providing results.
But the reality is they're all fucking scamming.
Retarded. Yeah.
No, they're not scammers. There's lots of people that's the completely wrong approach to look at it, Simon. There's a lot of people trying to do good things.
It's technically scamming. So they're not scammers in the malicious sense, but they're being forced by the system to become scammers so they can maintain the funding they need to actually do the important things.
Yes. But yeah, this is not a bunch of people going, right? This is not a bunch of people twirling their mustaches and going,
there's a lot of people out there.
The government money.
There is a lot of scientists right now doing that. They are twirling their hands, being like, yes, $100 million to torture more puppies. And it's just like,
yes.
So what was the purpose of this research? Nothing. I pocketed $99 million and spent $1 million torturing puppies. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
There are people like that. That is a vanishingly small percentage of
bagels.
them.
Yeah, it's just really like that's.
As Sneaky said, there's a whole lot of people that are like, I want to do the cancer curing research, but I need $13 billion for that.
You know, it's honestly one of the most lethal branches of research to get into. Cancer cures. Scientists that engage in researching cures for cancer have a really high mortality rate.
Yeah, it's strange. It's almost like whistleblowers and Boeing.
Yeah.
There are no whistleblowers.
It's almost like somebody.
God damn it.
There are no whistleblowers from Boeing.
Yeah. Only people who've fallen out of hotel windows.
Yeah, it's almost like somebody doesn't want an actual cure for cancer to be found, just constant treatments.
Yeah, well, you know, if we cured problems, then we would stop being able to profit off them.
What? That is fucking crazy talk. No one's doing that. Shut up before they come for us.
Pokemon Harry Pooter. Harry Potter, Vanquisher of Lord Voldemort, and oh god. Vanquisher of Lord Voldemort and Team Death. sets off on a journey full of wonder, mystery, surprises, and
death, huh?
curiosities. But can he figure
Yep,
out
team
what
death.
his true destiny is? The answers come as the journey continues. Powerful, gray, hairy
That sounds like a
AU
sequel.
fusion world.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody's sequel to some other crap they wrote.
It probably is. Let's see. Okay, joined in 2009, so they're at least 40 years old.
Oof.
Welcome, all of my D-zoners. I'm back. Yes, it's true. After many people have questioned me, and tried to smear me, I've been able to remove my stories from the anonymous reviews. I can finally decide to give my hobby another go. I'm back, and I know there will be those who dislike me and my stories. I have no intentions of letting people's opinions stop me from writing again.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, okay, that's good for you that you learned an important lesson not to let people influence you, but maybe you should stop anyway because you're bad at it.
True, true.
But you see,
Don't like,
Sign,
don't
you're
read.
just one of those opinions.
Don't like, don't read. Go ahead and mark it down, ladies and gentlemen. Don't like,
Holy
don't
hell!
read.
Mm.
You know
course I
he's
don't have
over
it.
35 when he puts that on his profile.
I've got that. We haven't had any announced POV changes.
Not yet.
that
We haven't read any stories. Yeah, we're just
Oh, shit.
fucking, yeah, we're just making fun of this.
Fair enough.
We're just cruising through this feller's author profile.
Let's see here. Let's see. What's this, statement? What's this Spartacus statement we got here? And now, if I may, here's something a reviewer sent with me that I would share with everyone else as to why I refuse to give in to the haters. This is a personal observation from someone who has lived, I would surmise, over 4 of your lifetimes. Oh, I'm so glad we have some 90-year-old fanfiction enjoyer giving life advice in the review
Oh
section.
boy! Teach us more, oh
Woo,
wise
lad.
hidden master.
True. And
Oh,
therefore, not appropriate for the normal reviews and remarks section. I have followed your postings for many years and find you to be of remarkable talent. I don't know of any other writer who is more prolific at writing than you. Well, we'll stop here. We're gonna scroll down real quick here. So let's go with the highest word count on this author. Highest word count, 300K, followed by 200K, followed by 200K, followed by 150K, 100K, 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 100K. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know like 200 authors more prolific than you. Not saying it's a good thing. Yeah.
Why does he have 267 fave authors? What the?
Some people just hit everything. I notice all of your characterizations of Harry are of a strong Harry, which I enjoy reading. I don't read evil Harry stories. Perhaps I'm missing something in the definition,
This
but
guy
I
is
prefer it.
He's had.
Yeah.
He wrote this himself.
Yeah, totally. But my protagonists, I prefer to be likable. You write a lot of crossovers, many of which I'm not familiar with the characters, and then miss your nuances of the story. However, you write so much more that I'm rarely without one of your offerings to enjoy. I rarely write reviews, as I find almost all my thoughts about your work are very positive, and you don't need, as I've seen someone write the word brilliant at the end of every chapter, me telling you how enjoyable this story was. So the purpose of this PM is to let you know that while I'm not sending you reviews every day, I do love reading your stories. You are the only writer I follow, as opposed to individual stories selected. So ignore the flamers and or the number of reviews you get, and know that there are many readers like me who just silently enjoy you. I'm glad to see you return to this site. Don't be discouraged. Readers such as this are why I refuse to give in. The age-old creed, don't like, don't read. So,
Can
the
I get
author's
original
self...
fiction for that fucking review?
Wow.
Yeah, they are... Damn.
Author's sucking himself off here.
Yeah, author's performing a bit of self-fellation here.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I am a very opinionated person about many things. Shocking, I'm sure, to many of you.
No, really?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Not
But-
sneaky.
Yeah. I can't believe it's coming out like this.
Yes. That
Yeah,
image
thank you,
is
Aura.
accurate, yes.
I can't believe you've just been lying to me for the last 13 plus
I
years.
know. It's crazy. 15 years, actually, Max.
He said 13 plus.
Is it?
Was it 2010?
15 is
Mm-hmm.
plus.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
2010.
2010. November 2010.
Congrats, you're old.
That's right, Max. We have been friends for 15 years.
Oh.
Regretting some life choices.
You can hear Max
Huh?
over there regretting that choice.
No, that wasn't me. That was someone else.
Oh!
I don't know who that was. That caught me off guard.
But yeah, so anyway, the author's doing some massive self-revelation here. Now, I will say, I do, however, agree with his opinions. I think people need to review less, and they need to do the same thing I tell authors. You need to, if you're updating every single day on a story, compact those chapters down, just make them bigger. If you're
Well,
reviewing,
As long as you're not on Royal
Well,
Road.
yeah, well, I mean, as long as you're not trying to monetize it, of course. I mean, if you're monetizing it and you're trying to make the chapters part of the monetization strategy, that's a completely different thing. But I'm just saying for the general author who's just trying to write a story that people will enjoy. But I feel that the reviews should be in the same section. Unless you're going to be giving like a really, unless the author's like if the author's updating like once a month, and you've been following it since the start, and you want to leave a review to every single chapter, responding to things in the chapter every single month they update, that's one thing. But I mean, we all know that's not what happens here. We see plenty of review sections where it's some dude found the story, binged the story, but wanted to leave a review on every chapter that just says some dog shit garbage like brilliant or great chapter, can't wait for more.
Love it. Can't wait. Yeah.
Or TFTC.
Yeah,
I was gonna
TFTC,
say,
like,
The
Ooh,
amount
I
of
hate that.
stuff you got of that, like, I looked at the comment section on Royal Road and I was like, okay,
yeah.
how many of these are just someone going, yay, thank you for the chapter? Like, I think I hate
See,
thank you for the chapter
yeah,
the most because
Yeah.
that's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like when your server tells you to enjoy your meal. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care if you have a
No.
good meal. It's perfunctory. It's required.
yeah.
Unless
Like,
you're
at least when
from the
someone
SDM
takes
where we've gotta
time to
remind you
write
to
out a
eat.
whole thing like, hey man, I found this story. I'm really enjoying it. I like it a lot. Thanks for putting this out. Somebody had to take 30 seconds to at least come up with whatever bit of thank you they were gonna say. Now, yeah, okay, yes, I know. They could have fucking chat GPT'd, thank the fan fiction author whose story I enjoy. Okay, yeah, that's a theoretical possibility, but
Yeah, but I mean, that I feel like that would be better. I would much prefer someone use Chat GPT to tell the author how much they enjoyed their story once than to leave a TFTC on every single chapter update.
Yeah.
Like I would much
Yeah.
prefer that people leave a single review for a story. If they feel like there's like you left your review on chapter 7, but then chapter 21 rolls around and you're like, holy shit, that was an amazing scene, and you just want to leave another review, you go for it. But
Yeah.
leaving like a one sentence response to every single chapter of just, oh wow, I can't believe Sirius did that. Next chapter. Oh crazy, Harry did that. Next chapter.
You did what
Oh
with Harry's
man,
dick?
that crossover, no one saw that coming. Next chapter, and like that's all you leave. It's like just shut the fuck up. I don't need to hear it. Yes, I'm aware there's a crossover. I'm writing the story. It just beyond frustrates me when I
Don't you want
see.
engagement, Sneaky?
I do, but I think the review section isn't the place for engagement. The review section is place for reviews. I think every single thing that isn't a review should be purged. And if you leave a review that isn't a review 3 times, your account gets squelched. And that's it. I'm again, at first you had my apathy, now you have my malice. I'm just so fucking tired of the flood of drivel coming from people's mouths. They have to let me know the most inane chatter imaginable. Jason Wu style on every single thing that's ever fucking posted. So, oh, you're and you can see the time frames and when they post the fucking reviews if you catch them on the same day. You'll see shit like 1:05 a.m. Great chapter. 1:09 a.m. Great chapter. 1:12 a.m. Great chapter. It's like, so you're not even, it's not even like you were reading the story throughout the day and you felt you needed to comment on some moment that happened. It's you're literally just fucking speed reading through every fucking chapter and then leaving a review at the end of every fucking chapter saying, great chapter. Wow, the most useless commentary ever. And that's what I'm saying though. If someone makes a mistake, definitely leave a review, point it out. But if someone does something right, you don't have to tell them they did something right every fucking time. It's like that would be like if your boss came around and every single time you just performed your job. Just performed your job. Not overperformed, not excellently performed. Like your job was to hit submit whenever a new person comes in for a doctor's appointment and they fill out all their forms and all you do is hit submit when the document shows up on your computer, and then your boss comes around and says, good job, thank you for submitting, good job, thank you for submitting. No one needs to hear that. No one wants that sort of positive reinforcement from their manager. They think they do until they get it. And then they're like, oh, wow, I kind of actually wish my manager would just shut the fuck up.
I really appreciate the positive reinforcement, boss, but could you, that raise? Can't afford bread this month.
Someone needs to squelch Netflix.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it
no,
would really help if Netflix let you choose the resolution and lock that down. You know, just a thought. It's just a thing that's been in place since, I don't know, what was the earliest fucking video archive we had?
Video archive?
I don't know.
General.
Pornhub, probably?
GeoCities?
Whatever the first thing that hosted video was, it was almost certainly porn.
Probably. Probably. But yeah, no, it's just like don't give me the fucking comments. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong, but if like at the end of the week I did a good job, yeah, just even a good job, and my boss wants to come by and be like, "Hey, you did a good job this week," I'd be like, "Oh, cool, thanks, appreciate that." But that's fine. Just I'm fine with the hey, you did a great job, but just limit it, squish it down. If you have 30 fucking chapters, squish it down to one review at the end. Or if you really got to comment on something when it happens and it's big and important in the story, leave the comment, but then leave the big review for the end. Just enough with this fucking one-liner useless trash. It clutters up everything. I'm supposed to get something like 2 megabytes down.
Huh?
Bro. Bro. 2 megabytes down?
Gotta
You better be
love
getting that
being
for
limited.
free.
No, he's limited heavily by the fact that he's only has cellular as an option for internet.
Yeah.
Because
That's insane.
satellite will go to shit the moment there's a single cloud in the sky to look at you.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
it's apparently that's not big as an issue with Starlink, but I'm not real sure about it. And
Honestly,
since cellular's your only real option, and the internet's slowly pervading even rural communities,
yeah.
it's just gonna get worse from here. Because God forbid we invest in infrastructure with the billions of dollars that we found out were being sent to God knows where for God knows what reason half the time in the last 20 plus years.
Yeah, well, if we actually invested in infrastructure, then companies wouldn't have a reason to keep extorting their customer base. And that would be bad if companies stopped extorting their customer base. Then they would actually have to provide services.
What? No, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so anyway, author is giving himself a blowjob and calling bullshit. Calling some pretty big bullshit. What's his oldest story? First published. First published. Snakeheart. Okay. Okay. I wonder what. Snakeheart. First published in 2010. Uh-huh. Harry accepts Draco's offer of friendship, a classic trope back in the day, bringing an adventure filled with strange powers and revelations. But can Harry discover the secrets of his past before other things stop him? Dark Harry times Luna. Wow, that is so thick in trope that I don't think a blowtorch can get through that one. That's it's pretty crazy. I have kept this story on site to remind me why I love writing. When I gave myself the chance to put my mind to it, I can come up with truly fantastic stories. He's edited all of his old stories with this tagline. Cool. Alright, so he feels this is something truly great. Well, then we'll just have to read a chapter of it.
Oh.
I do not own Harry Potter. Classic author notes. Some readers may see a story similarity between this and my earlier fanfic, Snake Eyes. This is intentional. Oh, so this guy's deleted all of his older stories. So this is the oldest story that he's kept. Through the process of elimination, He alone has judged this story to be the great one.
Oh, that's
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, parcel tongue, talking in, yes, talking in semicolons and colons. Normal things that people do during conversation is talk in colons and semicolons. What the fuck? What the? What kind of opener is this? Okay. Okay, let's read this. This is, holy crap, this is peak 2010. Let me tell you, this is definitely peak 2010. Yeah, this is definitely peak 2010. You'll soon find out that some wizarding families are better than others, Potter. You don't want to be making friends with the wrong sort. I can help you there, smiled Draco Malfoy, extending his hand to Harry as he waited for a reply. Looking to the boy he had been seated with, Ron Weasley, Harry shook his head and asked, Ron, how long were you planning on playing this game of yours? What game?
What?
Ron asked, shocked at how cold Harry suddenly was. Whereas just 10 minutes before, he was smiling and laughing with the black-haired boy. Well, the I'm friends with Harry Potter, which makes me somebody game, of course, Harry answered, before he stood up and shook Draco's hand.
Hang on a
adding,
fucking minute.
Please
Harry
then-
Potter literally doesn't know any of this on that
Yeah,
train.
I know.
I
Pleased
just,
to
look,
meet
I
you,
know it's an
Draco.
old trope. I have to point out how stupid the author's being. It's applying future knowledge that Harry Potter cannot possibly possess to Potter on the
and
train.
social understanding. Because you gotta keep in mind, he's 10.
Yeah.
He's 10 years old. He doesn't have the social understanding of political
Not just that,
maneuvering.
he is a completely attention-starved,
Yeah.
socially inept, not through his own fault, reject. Like,
And the only reason why Harry Potter initially was never friends with Draco Malfoy was because Draco Malfoy introduced himself by insulting Harry and the people he was currently around. And so Harry instantly associated him with Dudley. That's the only reason why Harry wasn't friends with Draco, because he was already actually friendly with Draco before Draco knew who Harry was, because they were both getting fitted
in the robe
at
shop.
fitted for robes. And initially they were cordial to each other. And it wasn't until Draco showed up insulting Harry and the people he was associating with, who treated him nicely, him, the attention-starved child, treating him nicely, that they didn't, it wasn't possible for them to be friends after that. That's how attention-starved. Like, Harry, if Draco had come up to Harry Potter and said something like the lines of, like, oh, you're Harry Potter, I didn't know. Well, you seem to have found interesting friends already, but I think we can become better ones. Like, if you want to keep, like, the snooty smugginess still to that, like, that would have been far better in Harry's eyes at that time.
yeah. Because it wouldn't be... Harry would... While he would understand that Draco's insulting them, Draco's not at least going, damn, you're fucking ugly.
You're
And
ugly,
you, Potter,
stupid,
you should know
boring,
better.
your friends are stupid and lame. Yeah. But anyways, pleased to meet you, Draco. My name, but to my friends, I'm just Harry. Malfoy smiled as he looked to the compartment. Ron was thunderstruck as he watched the infamous boy who lived remove his hands from Draco's before asking, you do understand there are some things about the world I don't know, right, Draco? Of course I do, Harry. At least more than Weasley here. I can proudly say. Come on, let's get back to my compartment and we can talk some more. Leaving Ron, who was still stunned at Harry's change of heart, the boy who lived moved about 6 steps before he stopped dead and asked, just to clear the air between us, Draco, you aren't like Weasley, are you? Only being my friend so you can improve your position? Why would I ever do that, Harry? All who have been to Hogwarts in my family are well known as is. Stick with me, Potter. I guarantee you'll be introduced to the right kinds of people. With a shrug, Harry saw the truth in that statement. What?
Okay,
Before-
unless the author comes in the next 10 seconds and goes, Harry Potter thought his reincarnation was going pretty well.
Sure, Phoenix, yes, sure. My rephrasing of what Draco would say is still going to be an elitist prep school kid, but it's not going to be a Dudley bully you and your friends to separate you sort of scenario. So it wouldn't trigger in Harry's mind, I would think, the reaction that he had to Draco, which was because Dudley had set up, I guess, a set of behavior triggers for Harry. That just made him dislike Draco simply because Draco's actions that day reminded him of Dudley. Anyway. With a shrug, Harry saw the truth in the statement before he followed Malfoy to a pretty shaded compartment. As opposed to the any of the other compartments, which were somehow different.
The ugly shaded compartment, the modestly shaded compartment. Like the worst part is, author.
The lights work.
The worst part here, author, is you've used a word ambiguously that can have multiple meaning, right?
Well, not just
be
that.
A shaded compartment that is attractive to the eye. It could be a heavily shaded compartment.
It's not only that, but it's also the fact that all of the compartments on the train are the same, and we saw that throughout all 7 books, all 7 movies, all 8 books, all 8 movies. My bad. We saw that throughout the entire series, is that even as they moved up in the years and they changed compartments, because they never said, like, oh, this is our compartment or something like that, so they weren't returning to the same one as far as we know.
Multiple times they've said, oh, in here there's just Neville or a professor, let's go into here.
Yeah,
multiple times.
And the compartment's the same every fucking time, no matter where they go. So unless Draco has, like, a special Draco compartment that only Draco can get into, or only the right sort can get into.
This is the big dick Draco compartment. You can only come in if you're Draco or you have a big dick or both.
True.
And there's only one compartment that's special, and that's the prefect one where they've got to have their meeting on the train before they get to
but that's not even a compartment. That's a entire carriage that's been modified to be more of a round circle meeting room. But yeah, so it's just like like the train is just a train. It doesn't have special rooms in it. And as far as we know, none of these rooms get modified or are modifiable. So again, it's not like, oh, I open the door up and there's like a whole fucking mansion room inside this one compartment because it's been space expanded. Because I mean, as far as we know, the magic involved in the Hogwarts Express pretty much prevents any sort of further magical modification from occurring in the compartments.
Yeah.
But, I mean, either way, point being is that these compartments should all be the same. So one that is pretty shaded, it doesn't make much sense. Is this compartment like... There's so many words that could have been used to describe this sort of thing way better. Like, a perfectly shaded. If you use the word perfectly shaded, that would imply that the compartment is at such an angle or such a location on the train that the direction the train is traveling and the direction that the sun is currently at is shading the compartment in a way that others aren't. Or maybe it's shaded because they put up They stuck curtains, tasteful curtains, to the window to cover it up or something. Like there is so many ways that a compartment could be shaded that could be explained in better ways than pretty shaded.
Mm.
We don't. Are you talking about the aesthetics? Are you talking about the level of shade? Why is it pretty shaded? Like, there's just so much going on there. Why are the curtains blue, author? Something about the darkness instantly soothed Harry. Okay, so the next follow-up sentence is assuming then that pretty shaded means well shaded, not aesthetically shaded. So again, there's other words they could have used in that instance. His seat next to Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle. So again, evil characters, the dark evil characters, are apparently in a gloomy compartment, and they're all like, "Oh wow, thank God we're out of the light. The light sucks. Being in the light is terrible. Well, we're so evil and dark that we hate being in the sunlight because it's antithetical to our evil nature."
Horrible writing, but edgy
yeah,
enough for
edgy
fucking-
Marvel writing.
I mean, it's edgy enough for 12-year-olds trying to be mature.
True. Yeah. So, what do you want to know, Harry? So, with a scoff and a smile, why is he scoffing? Hey, so what did you want to ask me, Harry?
Sneaky, could you tell me what the time is?
Oh. What? Who acts like that? Can you tell me the truth of Slytherin? What?
What? Okay, this has to be some kind of Potter reincarnate.
You need to tell me the real truth of Slytherin. The secrets behind the evil racist mask.
Yes, show me the ultra racism. You see, Harry, this is a racist, and this is a super racist.
Harry must have forgotten to talk about the sign over the train door. Yeah, true. Too lazy to make a high effort version? Nah, man, we're all about low effort here.
Sneaky, bring up the googly-eyed Madara.
True.
Oh no. Not that again.
What if I bring up the googly-eyed Madara Sahelanthropus?
The sacred text.
Oh, it's been a minute since that.
Yeah, I got it around here somewhere. Hold on, let me pull it up. Let me pull it. It's around here somewhere. It's around here somewhere. That's just straight up a whole ass ant on my screen. Why are you on my screen? Why do you do these things, ant? What are you doing here? Why would you be on my screen? No food here.
Shiny
No food anywhere
light.
near here. Fucking ants. Vacuum. Alright, where's the moderator? I think I'm getting closer. Getting closer. There it is.
I forgot how you made Oh god.
It's the weapon that will surpass the Metal Gear.
God. It's something.
No one
I don't
even
even
knows
remember what fucking
your
fever
name.
dream brainstorm session resulted in this.
What the hell did you post? Oh my god. What the fuck is this?
Who are you talking to?
Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, so it's escalating to the... Oh, two girls. Okay. A hammerhead shark?
Oh, whatever
Uh,
the fuck that thing was.
Oh.
yeah, I can actually attest to that final bit. That I've definitely seen that happen before. You stand too long in one section, suddenly someone comes up to you trying to sell you a fucking CD of their new hit Fire album. Yep. That's happened to me before. Anyway, so the truth about Slytherin. Slytherin in that dick. Up
We're
your
going for the
ass.
Gryffindor.
Right up her Hufflepuff.
Till she screams like a Ravenclaw.
True. So that's what they all expected of me. Yeah, because your father was a Gryffindor, everyone expects you to be a Gryffindor too. What about my mom? Slytherin. Everyone lies and says she was a Gryffindor, but your mother was really a Slytherin. Slytherin on his dick. Man, I cannot imagine. Man, Hogwarts, but everyone there is a millennial, would possibly be a war
Hell.
zone. There would be so much Slytherin on my dick jokes going around every single
my God.
hour. Was your mother a Slytherin? Was she Slytherin on my dick?
Your mama's so ugly, even a man troll rejected her.
Uh, um, everyone love blah blah blah. Evil Lily. No one ever knows what she saw in Potter in the first place. She was the head of our house.
What? Ooh. Ooh. I haven't seen a history be edited this hard since Switzerland wrote about its involvement in World War II.
They're already millennials? No, I mean,
1991.
yes. Yeah, but they were 80s kids raised up in 90s. Yeah, I mean, I guess they are millennials actually. Yeah. That's true. Um, I was just talking more about late 90s, early 2000s culture than early 90s culture. But anyway. Why is this ant absolutely hold on, I gotta make sure there ain't more ants. Flashlight. Come
I
on.
mean, come on, Sneaky. You already know the answer to that. There are more ants.
I mean, sometimes there's not more ants. Sometimes it's just one ant.
Which you have to be very careful not to kill.
Yeah, well, I'm too late for that one.
No,
Yeah.
that actually leaves the pheromone trail to bring more ants.
Yeah, I know. Smashed it anyway. You know, I'm not seeing any more ants wandering about, so I'm really confused how Buddy got over here in the first place. And there
What's
aren't
the
any...
what's the fucking John Wick meme? A man of determination, focus, and sheer fucking will.
Yeah, something around that line. Yeah. Alright, well, that was a thing. Hold on, let me, I think I got an ant trap still unactivated.
You've got a what?
Like, unactivated ant trap. Those keep,
Oh,
right?
ant trap.
Yeah. What the fuck did you think I said?
I wasn't sure. I couldn't hear. I was like, did he? What?
And that's fair. That's fair. Where did I keep? Oh yeah, here's the traps. These things keep, right? Like I don't like if I put one out, like they expire.
Truly, I have no idea.
Do ant traps expire? Is they less
Join us
poisonous?
next time for Sneaky's riveting Google searches.
True. Okay. Let's just see what happens. It can't hurt. I mean, technically it can, but that's for different reasons. Then, yeah. Come on. Come on. Alright, just drop one here, I guess, and drop one over by the window. Okay, well, hopefully that does anything. I don't know. Not an expert ant guy. Antology. Cool. Alright, well, let's get back to the mocking this guy's excellent art. Gen Alpha cheesing literally the entire school curriculum from start to finish using AI. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Difficulty convincing the AI to take the fantasy curriculum seriously. Honestly, actually, I don't know. I think it would be easier to trick the AI into doing the curriculum because, like, nowadays they could put controls on the AI of, like, hey, don't answer these questions because it's on the curriculum. But if you're like, hey, here's some fantasy questions about hypothetical histories, I think the AI would be more prone to allowing those. My workplace is next to a supermarket. That's rough. I noticed them coming in and out one day, so I set up a trap and came back to a graveyard of ant corpses. Nice, nice. I mean, basically all I do is I don't put food out, and I leave the spiders alone, and that generally takes care of most of it. But, yeah. So anyway, let's get back to the words. Anyway, so Potions Master, someone sort of hated my father, adored my mother, Slytherin, rules like seriously, don't get trouble in class, correct? Anyway, your mother was Slytherin, your father was actually 6th year perfect, okay. Merlin,
These nuts.
thought Harry, keeping his face expressionless. What? Guess we better get ready. The train's stopping soon. First years, blah blah blah. Hagrid beamed at Harry and made Harry cringe. Hagrid must have known about his mom, yet lied to him anyway. Of course, Hagrid, notorious liar. Very famous for.
Hagrid, notorious shitheel.
Yeah, totally. No one for a boat, right forward, heads down, Toad, blah, blah, Trevor, everyone here, blah, 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 first years, blah, 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 Hogwarts, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe someone like that's the head of Gryffindor. I dare say, through some miracle, I'm sorted into Gryffindor. I'll get the train and go back home. Draco gave a grunt of annoyment. Okay.
Annoyment, hey?
Yeah. Something amusing. Granger, who in Slytherin's name does she think she's kidding? She's talking about spells and what she'd have to do to impress the professors. A definite muggle-born if I ever saw one. Oh yeah, everyone knows that the real wizards don't talk about spells.
Real wizards just, talk about racism and how much they love it. Yeah!
Yeah, apparently. We have another name for their kind, Harry. But don't let anyone hear you hit the hard D.
Oh.
Form a line, follow me, blah blah blah, Harry, blah blah blah. Professor McGonagall. You know how the AI is expected to be an expert in pattern recognition? How it can notice patterns better than humans? Like in my industry where it can diagnose, yep, from retinal photos. That's interesting. What if someone began to use AI in their curriculum and the AI looks at patterns of magic or alchemy and finds a more efficient way of doing spells? Actually, it probably would, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the thing is, as long as you basically gave the AI the ultimate reactions list, like where you just went through and showed off every reaction of every single ingredient that could be used in a cauldron, how it reacted, at what temperatures it reacted, what effects it imparted upon the potion when it reacted in XYZ way. Like, if you were able to give it the full fucking table, it would absolutely be able to find better ways to make certain potions. 100% easily. Like, that's basically what it's made for at this current point in time. That large number crunching is basically what it's made for. So, yeah, no, it totally would. I think the only thing the AI might stumble on is if you don't have hard data. Like, if the alchemy of Harry Potter relies more on vibes than it does on, like, facts. So, like, independently, porcupine quills don't do anything, right? You throw them in the pot, nothing really happens. But when you throw them in a pot that's already boiled the conceptual essence of poison and slowing and death, and then the porcupine quills, when heated at a certain temperature, imply upon the potion a concept of attack or retaliation. Like, if it's sort of like that sort of instance where the porcupine quills don't actually have an inherent quality, like in, Skyrim style alchemy, but instead have a more metaphorical, symbolic quality to them, I still think the AI would be able to make better potions, but instead of needing to load up the AI on reactions, you need to load the AI up on mythology and a whole bunch of shit. And then you would need to create some sort of repeatable structure to teach the AI, like this is the current iterations of potions, and this is how the mythology impacts the potion creation, and then you could possibly ask the AI from there, using previous examples of successfully created potions, using the invocation of certain aspects of the ingredients. Which ingredients would you recommend for a better version of the Draught of Living Death? And then the AI would be able to correlate certain myths, certain plants with certain concepts to better give you either a cheaper version of Draught of Living Death, an easier version to make, or a more powerful version, right? Yeah, I think the AI would be able to do that, but you would have to do a lot of groundwork for it. Some student goes to a bookstore in Diagon Alley, asks to take a look at the books in the store, and uses Google Glass to scan the contents and put them all into a database. I mean, I don't think you would need technology for that. I feel like some sort of specially enchanted bibliophile glasses that were linked to a using was the Protegro charm or whatever the fuck it was called. Using a Protegro charm, the glasses are linked to a book, so everything the glasses sees from a book gets recorded in the master book, and then the master book can be like turned into a semi-sentient object, as we've seen that happen in Harry Potter before. And then from there, you're able to basically query the master book that contains all the books, like all pertaining knowledge to the subject of using swish and flick methods and charms. And it'll be able to like pull up the sections of all the relevant books that it has access to. Bookstores might have protections against magical scanning. I think it really depends on how you're structuring the world, right? So, like, if you want to do like a Harry Potter world, I don't think they would have canonically supported evidence to prevent magical scanning, because the idea of scanning in general hasn't made it to the magical world yet. Like, they're still being amazed by the idea of a wizard wireless. Like, they're still in the early adoption of using radio waves magically somehow. The idea of, and the only real examples that we have of pictures making it into the magical world is really, really old photography cameras, Polaroids, being enchanted with the same painting method that is used to give life to paintings and shit. And so, like, then that's all introduced again by Muggleborns, right? And Muggleborns are usually introducing it into the ecosystem not to try and turn a profit, as we've seen in the story, but more as a little bit of home being brought into the new world, mixed with passion and hobby. And so it's not so much as them trying to build an industry or trying to think of new, unique uses for something like a Polaroid camera, aka scanning something. And it's more they're bringing Polaroid cameras and they're enchanting Polaroid cameras because they really like photography, and so all they
Yeah.
think about is photography.
And like maybe there's the one guy who thought, "Hey, I bet I could make a video camera out of a Polaroid and some magic."
Yeah, so I wouldn't say, unless you're doing a really heavy AU Harry Potter universe where you get really in depth in how the magic operates and how the economy operates when under such a really eccentric magical system. At that point, you might as well just be writing your own original story. And if you are going in that direction with an original story, I think it would be completely understandable and fair for you to make the claim that magical scanning is already a thing. And you could almost even say it would be like kind of like a rite of passage of kids trying to like be lazier and trying to make their own version of all of the books, so I only have to carry one. And so stores naturally would be resistant to scanning, right? But like I said, you'd have to really build up the AU for that to be, I wouldn't say believable, because I mean, obviously you have a large portion of the fan base that would just be like, "Ooh, cool," and believe it anyway, regardless of the fact that there's like nothing supporting it, because it is cool.
Yeah.
Like the idea of magically scanning books so you can have like a master book copy of all the books. It's kind of cool, like a proto Google book. That'd be neat. The rule of cool and all that. So a lot of things we get slid by on that basis. But if you were trying to write a original world with it, again, you could go either way with it. Even if the technology is more up to standard in terms of modern time technology, because you got to keep in mind a lot of inventions and a lot of uses for objects that were invented were not originally invented for those reasons. You do have a lot of inspiration for a lot of inventions, of direct inspiration. Like a great example in both directions is train wheels. So train wheels need a lot of oil, a lot of moving parts on a train, and the heavy weight of a train, the high speeds the train moves, the long distance it goes, and the fact that the things moving are exposed openly to the environment means a lot of oil gets used on trains to keep their wheels, gears, pistons, and all that moving and not crashing. And before the self-oiler canisters were invented, what was done was a massive amount of people were employed in a very dangerous job that, because obviously it would be incredibly inefficient to stop the train every time it needed to be oiled, basically these people would climb off of the train as it's moving at maximum speed and hang off of the train and try and oil the train as it's moving by hand.
With a
like
little weird, a fucking oil can like you see in Wizard of Oz
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
they're knocking that thing around, just hoping enough
it was
oil
a-
gets in there to keep it running.
It was a high mortality rate job. And this went on for like 100 years, 200 years. No self-oiling mechanism was ever constructed. Because even though it was very easy to do with the current technology of the time, no one ever really thought about it, because the people working the job didn't tend to be people who were very inventive, because the job was incredibly dangerous. And so typically, and because you didn't need to actually know how a train worked, you just needed to know where to put the oil, which isn't hard to train someone on how to do. So you tended to get stupider people in these jobs because they paid really well, and stupider people were more prone to accept large sums of money for actions that would likely kill them. And it literally took a really long time for this to finally happen, where someone got into the position that had actually seen something before. And as far as I remember, their inspiration for it was like a rain collector that their family used because like their family was poor, and so they like jury rigged a rain collector so they had lots of water. Um, and when he was trying to think about, because he was looking at he was doing oiling one day and he's looking at the wheels and he's like, man, I wish there was some way I could just like guide the oil down to these wheels without me having to actually be on the wheel.
Without me having
Wait.
to risk my entire limb.
And then he's like, wait, what about that rain collector my family uses? If I just set the oil up to drip into the rain collector, it can basically guide the oil onto the wheel without me having to do anything. And it worked really well. But it took such a long time after trains were invented for someone to come along and be like, they had to be in the correct position. They had to be correctly inconvenienced. They had to have the capacity for solution seeking and the inspiration for the solution. And then, once they had all of those things, on top of that, they had to be able to scrounge up the resources to test their solution. And so, like, it's really not surprising a lot of things not being totally possible, but just not being done in a time period that you would think. Why wouldn't we just invent a self-oiler? That sounds so much easier. Sure, in retrospect. But at the time, just paying people a little bit extra money to stick their hands into moving wheel parts to oil something up it worked. So why change what worked? We have better things to do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, magical scanning, it could be a common thing. It could also be an incredibly uncommon thing. It could be an incredibly unique thing that the character was in the right time, right place, with the right inspiration and resources to create. So, and that it's not just magical scanning. It literally obviously goes for anything. And any creative idea that your main character can come up with in a story. It just has to be properly explained. They have to have an inconvenience occur to them. They have to, obviously, as the main character, they are motivated to fix problems. They have to have a frame of reference for a possible solution to the problem. Because again, typically, unless you're going to make the whole book be about them researching a solution to a problem they were inconvenienced by, just having a flashback or a reference back of, oh yeah, well I remember when Mama used to do this thing. I can do that here too. Using a previous lesson in a new way, very common in stories and life. Yeah, you just gotta properly explain it. Just don't like that. This is what a lot of like fan fiction writers, Redditards, or even fiction writers in general these days, they just get this so wrong, and where they're like, oh well, I want my character to pull some shit out their ass. It's like, yes, everyone's ass has shit up it, but the difference between your character pulling shit out of its ass and everyone going, ugh, that's just fucking shit, dude, and your character pulling shit out of their ass and everyone going, holy shit, why'd you have a gold bar up your ass? Is presentation. If you properly explain, and I don't mean realistically explain, I don't mean nitty gritty hyper realism. It's got to be, super, accurate explanation. And more often than not, super accurate explanations aren't good explanations for most people because most people don't understand the underlying processes behind a bunch of things. And so if you actually explain how, like, blue, why the sky is blue to, like, the average person, they're gonna look at you and be like, I don't know, man, I think the sky's just blue. Like, it's not the photons on the blue spectrum are being reflected by the gases present in the sky. Like, most people just be like, that sounds fake. I think you're lying. So when I say you have to explain it and it has to feel real, I don't mean realism. I mean it has to pass the sniff test effectively. Oh, why is he so good at magic? Oh, well, he's actually not good at magic. He's just using magic in a creative way. Because he's a hunter, so he has a lot of experience hunting animals. And what you do when you're hunting animals is with your bow, you try and aim for the heart of the animal with your bow, because the animal's usually going to be faster than you. And so you don't want to lose your quarry, because then you lose both the food, the bow, arrow, and the time you spent trying to run it down after it ran away when you hit it not in the heart. So most hunters try and aim for important organs like heart, lungs, and stuff like that. Not the head, because the head's got a skull, and the head's harder to hit as well, because it's a very important section of the body. And the allowances that nature has to make for things that move, like lungs and heart, leave them more vulnerable. So you want to aim for those areas, because again, on animals bigger than you, those areas are usually pretty big. So an archer who is a hunter would be more prone to thinking about the quickest, cleanest, shortest method of going for someone. And if they're thinking about going for the heart already, and then you introduce them to magic and you explain to them that magic lets you do anything you could normally, but you just expend stamina to magically cause the effect to happen. A hunter might go, okay, what if I just made their heart bleed? And it takes really little effort to make an organ start bleeding. I mean, all I have to do is like cut it, and that's like a swipe of my hand. So it doesn't take a lot of effort at all, actually, to make a heart bleed. But like blowing someone back with a wave of force, that takes a lot of effort. That's like a lot of energy. But like the person who isn't a hunter who was introduced to magic would be like, oh, well, I should cast like a fireball at them, or blow them back with force, or like, maybe like swing a sword slice at them or something. And so it's got to travel through the air and they can dodge it. A lot of energy intensive things, because they don't have the right mindset. And if a lot of people get snatched up when they're children, they probably don't go out hunting, or haven't developed the proper hunter mindset yet. So if you have a story where your main character makes it into their late teenagehood and being a hunter, and then they find out, because they were so isolated before, then they find out they have magic, and then they're learning about magic, that can bring a new perspective onto magic that maybe societally, culturally wasn't there. So maybe you can have them then come up with creative and clever things that, sure, technically anyone else should have been able to do this any point in time, but no one ever thought about it that way before. And that's a very relevant thing for a lot. You can get away with your story character doing a lot, so long as you think about it, which I understand is quite hard for a lot of people. But your character can be creative without everyone else around them being stupid. your character can come up with unique solutions without everyone around them holding the idiot ball. Your character can view things differently than everyone else, so long as they are different from everyone else. Like, if you have a society of hunters who all raise their kids to be hunters and then test them for magehood, you would see a lot more heart-piercing spells being created than Wall of Force spells, because their culture is already creating the mindset of precision in the child before introducing. No one talked for so long that my headset turned off. If you already have a society of hunters that is already teaching kids about precision before they're introduced to magic, then you're going to have a lot of kids thinking about precision and magic together. And so it's not going to be unique or creative for your main character to be like, oh yeah, I came up with this super precise spell that takes barely little energy that cuts their aorta on the heart. Like, that's going to be a thing that culturally would have been thought of. So that's the sort of stuff you got to keep that in mind, whenever you're writing a story. Your character can totally be creative. Like, I see a lot of things in, like, Cyberpunk these days, right? Cyberpunk, great sidestep of the magic, right? You got your fantasy stuff, now you have your sci-fi stuff. I see a lot of things in Cyberpunk where people are like, oh yeah, well, I'll just put a new grip on this gun and that'll make it shoot twice as fast. And I mean, yeah, modifying your firearm is a long-held tradition, in real life and in, Cyberpunk, obviously. And so, yeah, people probably have thought of that before, but the questions then you gotta sort of think about when you're doing these sort of modifications is, if they can simply make their gun fire more bullets by making a very simple modification to, like, the barrel or the firing chamber or something. Somehow there's some simple modification out there that somehow doubles the bullets per minute. Why isn't it done? Obviously everyone's in an arms war. Everyone's already thinking about how to make their guns be more gun, right? So why isn't it being done? Maybe it makes the gun less accurate, but maybe you have, like, I don't know, hand stabilizers and, like, a cyber arm that's, like, military grade or something. And so because you have all of these add-ons to your body, it doesn't really matter that the gun's less accurate when it's firing twice as fast, because your body's capable of compensating for that recoil. So actually it is worth it for you to double the fire rate of the gun. Maybe the barrel wears out more. And maybe that's not a concern for you. Maybe it's a concern for the company that made it, usually for an army contract, because they have to operate on the idea of a limited supply window. But if you're only operating out of a city that manufactures said gun parts, then you're going to have the ability to acquire replacement gun parts pretty much whenever you want, because you're only operating inside the city that makes the gun parts. And so maybe it doesn't matter then that your durability goes down really fast, because you're able to replace the parts constantly. So just keep that sort of stuff in mind, because not only does it make the story more coherent, but it also adds that little extra bit of flavoring to the story that makes it look like you put a lot of really hard thought into it, when you don't really have to put all that much thought into it. Oh, they never leave the city. They buy guns in the city. That means there's parts in the city. That means I can replace the parts. And maybe a lot of people do do those modifications because they don't think about them. Maybe they don't do those modifications because it costs a lot of money, and your character happens to be in a position where they have a lot of money, so they can do those modifications. You know, there's a lot, and maybe by the time that people work their way up to having a lot of money, they've already moved on to a different gun, or they've already moved on to like swords, or using net running, or some other form of tech or whatever, right? Maybe they've already retired and they've become a fixer instead. And so by the time they have the resources to do what your character's doing, they're not using the gun anymore. So there's tons of things that can apply either in a sci-fi or fantasy scenario that will make it look like you put a lot of thought into something, but you don't actually need to put a lot of thought into it. Just makes you look clever, which is always good. People love clever authors, even when they're not actually clever. I took a bowl of steaming noodles in both hands. Wouldn't do to spill, I murmured. My hairpiece flashed with a flex of my fingers. I pulled the heat out of the contents fast enough to flash freeze it without compromising the taste. At my side, Zhao shivered once. I don't understand how you reverse that. I smiled. Elemental cryo is more than just cold. But cold in the material world is nothing more than the absence of motion. Mastering cryo is more akin to mastering thermodynamics. Zhao nodded. Still didn't get it. Yeah, exactly. 100% relevant. Yeah. If you are a Yankee in Camelot's court and you have a greater baseline understanding of the world and how it works, and in a way that the people locally don't, then even though you have only the same technology that the locals have, whether that's magic or sci-fi, but because of your greater understanding, you're able to apply the principles differently, or in a way that most people don't really think of because they're still thinking along the lines of saying,
Is it
in,
just me that Sneaky's fallen for, or
what? What, Kaz?
Yeah.
Kaz?
Yes.
Kaz? Is everyone just being assassinated?
I think he's dead.
Uh,
I think his internet took him.
is anyone else?
Well, At probably fucked off to go get food.
Yes.
Gray
Yep.
mutes half the time.
Yeah.
all right, I'm back. Just
Are you
5,000.
sure?
I was thinking.
The assassins fail.
The assassins failed. My emus failed me.
Yeah. No, they made my ping to 5,000, but other
Oh.
than that, I came back.
Amazing.
You know, it was funny because the only thing we heard out of you was, "Hey, is sneaky for anyone?"
Okay, so it was
cut
just
off.
me. Weirdly enough, my internet didn't go down. It's just the Discord went fucking sky high on ping.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Discord's kind of shit in the bed. But yeah, so
Discord these days.
basic thinking equal cool shit equals you don't have to ass pull. Or you can at least make your ass pulls sound cool and therefore people will accept them. That's all I'm saying. You know, like we see so many fucking ass pulls in these stories and fan fiction. Hell, even in normal fiction these days. There's so many fucking ass pulls that you just look at and you're like, why? You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to just invent ass pullium for this scenario. You could have easily fucking just had this thing happen. But you had to fucking make your character special by using ass pullium instead of shit you already lined up.
Yeah. It's always fun when the character has 3 tools that can fix a situation and they get a new one out of nowhere.
Yeah, they just invent a 4th one because it's like,
Fuck, I think it's happened
why?
again.
You know what
Kaz,
I'm in
is
the
your
mood for?
internet trying to die again?
I'm in the mood for pizza.
Then you should order some pizza and just end the stream.
I will. I'm gonna order pizza first. Let's see what we got here. $10 Parmesan stuffed crust. It's almost worth it. I'm gonna be honest. The Parmesan stuffed crust from Domino's is a dangerous lure. It really is.
You should combine it with the stuffed cheesy bread.
I do. The stuffed cheesy bread is also really good.
I hate when you get that one dickhead who's like 90% bread, 10% cheese. Like, come on, man, that's not what I ordered. I didn't order cheese bread. I ordered stuffed cheesy bread.
Right.
Yep, am
Yeah.
I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Well, he's
Oh.
kind of back. He keeps cutting in and out.
Yeah.
I
of
think
course I
Discord's
do.
done with him for the night. I'm not sure.
Maybe. First I'll get a drink and then decide.
Okay. No, that's a correct. Yeah, don't fucking lie to. Domino's was like, I don't think that's your password, buddy. I'm like, I'm pretty fucking sure it's my password, Domino's.
My favorite is you go to reset password and then you put in the password you know you like using. You can't
Password
use the
already
last
used.
password.
Yeah,
That
you
motherfucker.
you fucker lied to me.
It's even better on websites that actually have a show password option so you can actually double check what you're typing. It is the exact same.
Yeah, it's the exact same password. You type it the second time and it works. And it's like, you fucker. Don't fucking lie to me, you fucking little piece of shit. Okay, unfortunately, I am 10 points off from free loaded tater tots. So instead, I will merely have to settle.
That's an actual shame.
I know.
Domino's tater tots have no right to be as good as they are.
They are delicious.
I didn't expect a pizza place to unironically have some of the best tater tots I can get my hands on.
I mean, honestly,
Best fried chicken you can get your hands on.
their fried chickens actually, again, I don't know how Domino's gets away with it, but their food is shockingly good for what they are. And it's crazy.
I think the fact that they had a massive overhaul of their recipe like 15 or 20 years ago helps a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I remember they were making a big deal, like, hey guys, we changed the crust recipe when I was in high school.
Yeah,
Because
they
everyone's
did,
like,
yeah.
oh, Papa John's and Pizza Hut were the places to go. Well, Pizza Hut has slowly gotten worse, and their slogan of "No one out pizzas the Hut" has
Patently
not been
false.
for years.
Yeah, patently
For
false.
years. And Papa John's has remained pretty consistently good quality food, and honestly, I think it's gone up a bit since Mr. Shaquille O'Neal stepped in and was like, "I will buy the company."
That's true. I forgot Shaq did buy the company.
Yeah, he did.
Shaq is. People seem to forget Shaq's also a foodie. He loves food and good food. So
I say, hey,
Here's the
look.
thing. That just means the Papa
Mr.
John's closest to Shaq gets the Shaq special ingredients.
Look,
True.
Mr. O'Neill is such a laid-back, chill individual. He actually lives in the school system, like the county that I worked for. He would sometimes just randomly show up to random schools with a fuckload of Papa John's pizzas to give to the kids.
yeah,
It's completely at random.
But no, I mean, it's really crazy because it's just like, I went through Domino's ingredients listings and they use like cane sugar, and they don't rely on like high fructose corn syrup and other garbage, and it's like, what?
They use the good shit.
Yeah. And it's just like, huh? What the fuck? It's like, they're actually using good ingredients? This is so weird.
I feel like though, like if they're actually using good ingredients, I would expect like something less aggressively mid, I'll say.
No, I'm not surprised at all, because the thing is that a lot of the food that Domino's is deployed with, it's all frozen. It's frozen prepackaged meals, effectively, where they
Yeah.
make the food beforehand, then flash freeze it, and then basically it's just a case of heating it up in the local Domino's it's being served from. The only thing I think they actually genuinely make these days at the actual Domino's is custom pizzas.
So I have to make sure I order like the 1/4 pepperoni, 3/4 sausage, and that might get me a real pizza.
No, like they'll just heat up a standard cheese pizza, and then they'll cook it, put the ingredients on top, and then finish cooking it.
Like, I get about as weird as you can get with ordering pizza, because I just order it with no sauce.
Interesting.
No
I know
sauce,
what is the
left
reason for
beef.
that? No sauce, left beef.
Because there's no way they're like, oh yeah, we just have no sauce pizzas lying around. Because what fucking weirdo prefers their pizza without the red sauce?
Oh well, no. What they do is they have dough, dough pants,
Oh, no,
like
they've got dough on hand, ready to go.
No, I mean like they do thaw the dough out. So like it isn't a case of like, oh, they take out the flash frozen dough and heat it up real quick and then slap shit on it. Like they do thaw the dough out in the start of the day. But it's more when you order a pizza, they have the pre-made dough base, and then they pull out, okay, they wanted tomato sauce, so they pull out the tomato sauce package. They wanted Alfredo, so they pull out the Alfredo package. And like all the sauce and the cheese is all pre-packaged in portion sizes, which is why the Domino's is so standardized in terms of how much cheese is normal cheese, how much cheese is extra cheese.
That is generally how chain restaurants work.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you ordering like a weird pizza with no sauce isn't gonna have them pull out a different pizza than someone ordering a pizza with sauce, because they're both pulling out the dough base and then either slapping sauce on it or not.
But that's how they're gonna make every pizza, Sneaky.
Right, but you were saying, oh well, that's why I order weird pizzas, because I want them to be fresher.
No, you were saying that. I didn't know anything about this. I just order a weird pizza with no sauce, and that's it.
Oh, I thought that's what I thought you were trying to give a reason, because we were talking about the pre-made meal.
No. I legitimately prefer my pizza without red sauce. I actually am not a big fan of the acidic taste of actual tomato.
Oh, interesting. Well, the more you know, I suppose.
I just randomly
now I will say,
oh, okay.
Domino's
I've never been a
pizza.
fan of red sauces.
Order a normal Domino's medium pizza. Select Alfredo with extra cheese, chicken, and bacon.
I need to do a pizza with Alfredo sauce at some point. Because
It is very good.
I don't
Another
like white sauce
excellent
much.
one.
I love white sauces.
Yeah, another excellent one is ranch, chicken, and bacon. Because the ranch gets fried into the bread, and it becomes delicious.
I will suggest that to my parents. That sounds like, honestly, that sounds like something my little brother would absolutely love.
The ranch
with buffalo chicken and bacon, I think he'd love that.
I'm not the buffalo's optional, but I personally I'm not a huge fan of buffalo.
Well, it's just he prefers getting buffalo chicken when he gets chicken on pizza.
Right. I mean,
So
that's
just
fair
one of
enough.
those things.
But yeah, like the ranch is basic. So the ranch chicken and bacon and the Alfredo chicken and bacon are very similar in taste structure. Um, but the ranch is going to be a more drier pizza? Question mark, I guess is the best way to say it. Like the Alfredo sauce is less evaporaty when being cooked.
It's thicker.
Yeah.
Alfredo sauce is thicker. And ranch is basically water in comparison.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
like
much thinner sauce.
the ranch pizza is going to have the ranch more baked into the bread, while the cheese is going to be pulling heavy duty on the Alfredo pizza to keep the Alfredo sauce in the pizza. But it's really good. I usually buy frozen pizzas. See, I would do that, except the frozen pizzas that my local store serves are all like really garbage. Like the ingredients in them is like dihydrogenated bread sulfate. It's like what the fuck?
You don't
Plus,
want to look at that.
Right.
there's
America doesn't do bread.
the
Being
ultimate
of a church.
pizza hack of just have a Costco membership and go to the food court.
True.
Here's $10. Yes, I would like an 18-inch pizza, please.
Listen, I have said it time and again. You get exactly what you pay for at Costco, which is a shitload of edible pizza.
You know, I'm really disappointed that when I put my Instacart order in for Costco food, I can't have them pick up a pizza. Like I am offended by that not being an included option.
Honestly, there should be a thing where you just leave a note on the order. I will give you extra tip. Pay for to get me a whole pizza.
I will pay
from the
for
food
both pizzas. You can have one of them. I will pay you in pizza. Aldi has an amazing bread section. It's probably Aldi. I mean, ShopRite. So ShopRite, in my area, is owned by a company called Zaley, and they have their own bread manufacturing line. And they're not terrible. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a fair amount of baked goods in the ShopRites, which are all high fructose corn syrup garbage. But there's also a fair bit that are just like standard store-based breads. So I mean, like mono diglyceride, emulsified wheat flour, and shit like that. So like, not great. Don't get me wrong, but also not terrible on the scale of things. And so, like, they're baked goods, as long as you're paying attention to what ingredients are going into them, are actually pretty good for the price they are. Their donuts, however, are fucking ridiculous. It's literally $3 a donut. It is insane. Ludicrous. No, who pays $3 a donut? Me. I did it once.
I would say the only place that I'm willing to spend big money on donuts is Weber Bakery, which is a place in Chicago that has been operating for, I'm gonna double check, a long ass time. Yeah, 1930.
To be fair, the Krispy Kreme in Philadelphia has been operating for about as long, I believe.
Okay, sure. But this is not a Krispy Kreme donut. Like.
Okay, 1915. All right, let's go.
Christ.
The first rented building was, however, in 1937. Okay.
Okay, now what we need to do is we need to figure out how many cases of diabetes has that one location caused?
Well, considering it was founded in New Orleans,
Oh no.
all of them.
Oh dear. Between that and Cafe Du Monde's beignets, that's rough. By the way, quick UI complaint.
Yeah.
If you're ever running a banking app, don't have your don't have the whole like estimated balance be highlighted in yellow
Oh my
with a
god.
fucking triangular hazard sign. You dumb cunt. I was terrified. Like, was there a charge that you didn't tell me about that you should have notified me? No, this is my estimated balance as of
Max,
X. It's like, you motherfuckers.
could you provide a screenshot just of the hazard warning? Like, because that seems incredibly stupid to me. I believe you. Just wow.
It's not great. It's a little yellow triangle with an exclamation mark in center. I'm like, you dumb cunts.
That's crazy.
I'm sitting here freaking out because it's on both my savings and checking. I'm like, what happened? Am I about to?
Your funds have been seized. The FBI is kicking your door down as we speak.
Yeah.
No, it's like, this is the balance you actually have available. It's like, why would you make it a hazard warning, guys? Why would you use one of the universal signs for oh shit, oh fuck?
Because they really want you to know that you're a broke ass bitch.
Then just greet me with those exact words every time I log in.
Broke ass bitch alert.
Hey, China does it.
That would have been less worrying. Probably
China does that, boys.
Honestly.
Alert! Did you know you're a broke ass bitch? We've detected you have under $3,000 in your bank account. Do you want to be poor? Yes, yes.
We've detected that you're a broke ass bitch. We're actually not even gonna let you keep using the app. You don't need to check your balance. It's 0.
True. We've detected you've checked your balance 3 times in the last 24 hours. We assure you, it's still 0.
You're still poor.
Poor.
Damn.
That's kind of what I feel like. Any bank that has overdraft fees, I kind of feel like that's literally just what they say.
Yeah.
You know, BB&T was cool enough that if you were making your account and you were still a student, they gave you like 1 free get out of jail free card a year for overdraft fees for up until you were no longer a student.
Mm.
Which, you know, being a millennial means everyone continues to be a student until like their early 20s. Because not everyone was smart enough to say, maybe college isn't for me and I should go learn a trade instead.
Yeah. Well, see, I actually called my bank, and when I first learned about overdraft, I called my bank, and I was like, hey, do you guys do overdraft fees? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, do I have overdraft turned on by default? Yeah. Can you turn that off? What? Turn off the overdraft. But then you won't be able to pay for things. And I was like, yes. If I'm in a situation where I'm overdrafting my account, I don't want to be charged extra money because I don't have it.
Yeah.
and the teller was like, that's a fair point. Okay. All right. So that is a Domino's purchased. But yeah, anyway, so back to fan fiction. Unless anyone wants to bring up any recent fiction that has been a laugh and a half.
Nah, no. Although I have
No,
had thought
no.
that Re
I
Zero
merely
is
wish
probably
to be.
the
I
easiest
merely
way
wish to
form
depart
character
from this
interaction.
hell.
Oh, actually, you know what? Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, young woman. So this is actually relevant to last time. So we were reading Tanya stories, and I posted in Shitrex.
Kaiserin, yeah.
Kaiserin story. Yep. And then some people in Science Server were like, actually, I think Kaiserin's pretty good. It's about as good as Young Girl's Day in the Sun. And meanwhile, Young Girl's Day in the Sun goes wildly off track. Rapidly has people circle jerk Tanya becoming political. Tanya constantly spends time glazing Keynesian economics. Weimar happens anyway. Tanya folds to the Paris Accords anyway. And also, just they do full apologia for everything that caused Nazi Germany.
Mm.
Oh my god.
And
And
so,
people are still defending it.
well, yeah, of course they are. They didn't say the Nazis were right in the story. They said all the things the Nazis hated were right.
Oh boy.
So, yeah. So, yeah, again, I just responded to the whole fucking discussion with not listening to me when I say a story is bad. Classic mistake. Yeah, then I also posted another story on my free time because I was trying to look for some new stories to read while I'm falling asleep. And I stumbled upon a Song of Ice and Fire story where the character ends up with Amy's power from Worm.
Paper, like,
Yeah.
as in manipulate and create any sort of monstrosity you want with a touch
Yes,
on anything organic or biological, including plants.
correct. And they also instantly gain the knowledge of how to do so whenever they think about it. So if they're like, I want to create green goop that's highly nutritious, they are immediately filled with the knowledge of how to manipulate biology to do that. But they have to think it first. Like they aren't just like given a menu select of like the things it could turn into. Like they have to be like, I think the biomass should turn into this for it to do that, right? But anyway, so I was suspicious, shall we say, when I first started reading the story, because there was certain behaviors being exhibited by the main character that were
Worrying.
of cultural heritage. And then they immediately went into a massive amount of self-glazing. The complete disregard for life. And just a whole bunch of other just completely psychopathic talking points about the existence of other people, not them, and how they are on a different caste than they are.
Oh boy.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So that was I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, I saw you do not redeem story.
No.
So yeah, I dropped that immediately after I saw those little bits and bobs in there, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm good not reading a 100k word glaze fest of cast. culture. Yeah, that's what I'll put it as. Institute for Sexual whatever the fuck shows up in the story. Wild? Yes, it does. Yeah, it shows up in Young Girl on the Time on the Sun. Yep. And pretty much everything that happened during Weimar shows up as a good thing in that story. Which is a hell
That,
of a
ladies
take.
and gentlemen, is what we call a flag.
Yes, a red flag, even. There was a lot of red flags in that story. Some of them were literal.
Did they possibly feature certain
Iconography?
insignias?
Yeah, possibly.
Some iconography?
Possibly some farming equipment.
All right.
Yes.
This Korean place is actually funny. They've named themselves Supreme Leader Chicken, and they're selling Korean chicken.
No, you should tell them whenever you pick your order up, they should have changed their name to Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, that is good. Wait, they only do chip, loaded chips maybe.
Loaded chips, damn. That's some from a Korean place. Damn, that's gonna be either really good or really bad.
Probably the second one, Sneaky.
I don't know. I think a Korean place with a good sense of humor must have good food. Conversations with Strangers, a TPR reboot companion piece by TPR Reboot. A compilation of additional material related to TPR Reboot. Extra scenes, alternative endings, and what ifs. Oh, Total Pokemon Island Reboot. Man, they're really dedicated to this.
That sounds like a not great idea.
You may simply refer to me as Reboot. After noting the decaying status of the online Total Pokemon Island community, I decided something should revitalize it.
And it's gonna be my fanfiction!
My
Okay,
V2 Reboot fanfiction shall save the community. Wait!
I'm sorry, your V3 reboot fanfiction killed the community.
Guys, no! God.
Fulgrim? Fulgrim, is that you?
Send me the
Guys,
link to your profile. It's so good. It has to be so good. Send a link. Send a link.
New update dropped, guys.
It's profile.
Gentlemen, I believe he's dying.
I don't even know if I can read that out loud.
You can't.
Not.
I'll read it.
No, you can't either.
No, you won't.
All right, Max.
I want to be
Max,
real clear. If you start trying to read that, you're out of the
Max,
server.
You have to open it, Max.
If you're talking about the author's blurb introducing themselves, I already have. I'm trying to figure out what
All
the
that matters
specific
is I'm
there
here.
means, 'cause that's my understanding is that is unironically a binary thing. It's either a 0 or a 1.
Yeah, right. I know.
I think they were trying to be I don't know. Smarmy, maybe?
Sorry
This is
if
when I'm
I'm...
reminded. This is when I'm reminded that me and Sneaky have the same sense of humor.
Sorry if I'm socially awkward about this, guys.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
And then we've got Pokemon Furry Total Drama Island list.
Oh, God. Oh, what do you mean it's furries? Oh, my God, it is all furries. He literally just
Pokemon
has
and
an
cast.
entire cast of Pokemon that replace everyone in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
The host being a beta.
I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why the total Pokemon Island community is dying off.
Mm.
Yeah.
Welcome to Total Pokemon
think even
Reboot, a
though-
back to basics total drama Pokemon crossover.
Wait,
didn't
there's
know
only
that was
one
the
team that has a
thing.
psychic type. Like, how are they
Wait.
ever losing when they can read the mind of the opposing team?
How are there 300 plus stories for this specific crossover?
What?
Yeah,
That is
he mentioned
insane.
that he said he wanted to revitalize the community. I kind of thought he had his head up his ass, but there's actually 300 plus stories
321!
in this section.
What?
And some of these, by the
It's
way,
more
have
than
updated.
Digimon!
Some of these updated in this last week.
One than the author.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
Total Skarmory Island, Total Pokemon Alola, Total Pokemon World
Pokemon
Core, Total Pokemon Island, Total Pokemon Zero, Total Pokemon Island
Holy
Redux, Total Pokemon
shit.
Reaction V2 V3, Total Pokemon Journey
Uh,
Sinnoh Shenanigans, Total Pokemon Drama Kanto, Total
Total
Radical
Pokemon.
Island, Total
Total
Pokemon...
Pokemon Island. Pokemon.
Yeah, the oldest story in this crossover section
2010?
No, it goes back to January 18th, 2009 for the first published
What do you
story in this
mean, the 50th season of Total Pokemon Island? What do you mean?
What is going on?
What is this absolute rabbit hole?
Going?
I don't know what we
Published date.
found,
I
and
need to
I'm
go
not.
by published.
The Total Pokemon Real World Tour.
Yeah, I just said Kaz, oldest one is January of 09. That's how far back this section goes. I don't think this section needed revitalizing. It's just been on life support since day one.
It's a 16-year-old set of a fandom that won't let it die.
Oh.
And it died out a bit in 2024 and then fucking has like almost 10 that's revitalized it.
I hate this.
What the fuck? God.
Oh no, it's him!
Is it the fart
What do you
one?
mean it's him?
Is it the
It's
fart
a
one?
fodder.
It's
the fodder,
all
it is.
fart stories.
God damn it! I was like, the moment he said him, I'm like, please tell me it's not the fart person.
Pokemon farting Bianca, Pokemon farting Sonic, Pokemon farting Street Fighter, Pokemon farting
Farting Vanilla
Hatsune
Fruit.
Miku, Pokemon
Feeling strong
farting Kid Icarus.
It does feel like it's been a hot minute since we
Friendly
saw
fight.
him pop up.
He
Wait,
changed.
did he
He's
just
got a
do a
different friendly
mass
party fever.
upload?
Yeah.
4,305 stories.
Oh, farting.
Just did a mass upload.
And one of them
All
has
about
a changed
farting.
cover image. One of them has a changed cover
Yeah,
cover image. Everything else is just fucking Bianca. Why is there Ash Ketchum attends Duel Academy? What?
Is he farting?
No, that's from someone else.
Oh!
There's another Pokemon Total Drama fucking fic on the front page. What?
I forgot I can't open this guy's profile. He has so many stories, it crashes Chrome.
I'm sorry, what?
The fart dude has so many stories that it crashes Chrome trying to load the links for them all.
I
That's
can't
possible?
I can't have
Yeah.
all of the subjects that
I
he
knew they
writes
had
for.
so many stories, but I didn't know they had it that bad that it would crash a browser.
Yeah.
Like even if
Well,
it's Chrome. Like
I mean,
Let's
on
be
one
honest.
hand, that's impressive. Like, that's
Well,
Author
let's
has
be-
written stories, and
Let's
it
be
still
fair to
isn't all the way down.
fanfiction.net. It wasn't built to handle profiles like that. At all.
True.
Author has
Yeah.
written
No one-
stories for
No one
my
No.
sat
scroller
down
can't
when
have all
making
them on the screen at
fanfiction.net
once.
and said, we need to plan for the crazy motherfuckers that will have 3,500 plus links to stories going at one time.
and all of
Wh-
them are about Bianca farting.
I mean, this is insane. Just pooting strong farts, friendly farty fever, farting Pokemon Icarus Stinky Tail.
Yeah,
you're making
all
me
right.
cringe. Can you
You
stop?
can do fucking better than that, you
Farting
He-
farting Bianca with vanilla, farting
He's
blonde
been on-
girl.
He's been on here since 2005.
Bro's been writing fart stories for
For 20
literally
years.
2 decades.
And in the second decade, he did 3,000 because he's got a fucking message saying 1,000 stories in 10 decades. We're finally here. In 10 years, I mean, not 10 decades.
Let's say, did they
I-
actually
He's
write
written
Bro,
3,000.
bro
he's
might be
written
crashing out.
He's written 3,000 in 10 years of farting.
Bro's life might be taking a downturn that he's just writing so many stories now. Oh, speaking of which, I will bring this up because Kirsch totally deserves better. So you guys are aware of the Anna Violence
Yes.
Vice
Yep.
author?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You want me
You
to
don't
share
I'm not
the
sure what
post?
this
So-
has to do with the fanfiction stream, but
Yeah, we're gonna get
She
to
got a
it.
24-hour ban because fanfiction.
Yeah, so basically what ended up happening was that Kirsch initially made fun of this author's fanfiction that they posted to AO3.
I posted it in a
And the
post.
the author of the fanfiction then proceeded to use their connections with Vice to publish multiple hit pieces against Kirsch to get her deplatformed and banned from Twitch and her sponsors to drop her. Now,
You double posted it.
so far,
I'm just posting
the only
one
thing
with
that's
the
happened.
full thing, and then just the one with the full image.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the what ended up happening was that only a game called Crime Boss, which is really unfortunate because it was kind of like a better payday. Crime Boss dropped her as a partner, and that's it.
The game wasn't doing too well till she showed up, and even then, it kind of crashed and burned once they turned on Kirsch. I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, Kirsch pretty much brought in about 80% of the audience to that game. And she did it for free because she just genuinely enjoyed the game. And so obviously when they dumped her, everyone left the game. And all of the people who celebrated Crime Boss dumping her either didn't
Turned
buy
on
the game
too.
or tried to buy the game and then realized that Chuck Norris is in the game. And everything bad they said about Kirsch, Chuck Norris has said worse.
Yeah.
So
they
never
meet-
learn about your childhood heroes.
So they
kids.
immediately got burned by the very people they were pandering to.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, now they're kind of not doing too hot. But yeah, the whole thing only happened because this Vice retard posted a bunch of fan fiction with their real fucking name to AO3, and it's all rape fics about them raping women.
That's what I was about to. I was like, which direction does it go? Because one of those is
Also
That's also
includes incest. Yeah. So there's lots of stories about this man pretending he's a woman in the story, and then raping his family.
Mhm.
As a cock girl.
Mm.
I didn't believe you about this person foolishly putting these works out under their actual
Yeah.
initial and last name. That is
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly what they did.
That is exactly what they did. Yep.
Phoenix, I really didn't need to be reminded of that.
Like,
I did not need to be reminded of that.
oh, good lord, I keep forgetting about that. That is
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, this
There's
guy
a
is
reason you keep forgetting about it. Your brain doesn't want to register that.
I don't pay
yeah,
attention
these
to
are
people.
this is hate
better
knowledge.
things
This
to pay
is
attention to.
knowledge that does not want to be remembered.
I look at these idiots and just go, you know what? You're retarded. I'm moving on.
Yeah,
And then it
unfortunately,
comes back to flashbang me.
yeah, well, yeah. See, that's the kind of the problem is with unfortunately some of these retards are in positions of power, and if they decide that they don't appreciate you leaving a mean comment on their fanfic about raping their sister, then they're going to write a hit piece article on you, make up shit that you never said, and then forward it to your boss so you get fired.
Yes.
So, that's why I always take a moment to hate on people like this, because I think if they go into the hug box where they have to hug themselves for the rest of their very, hopefully, short lives, I think the greater humanity will be improved. Because I honestly do not trust this individual. I'm certain in about 5 to 10 years, we will either see an article about how they were arrested for sexually assaulting their sister, or murder, or suicide. Because this is an unstable person who is a danger to himself and everyone around them. And that's my pizza.
We're done then, right?
I mean, yes. Hello.
Cool. Not the way I would have ended stream. It's something that is actually completely unrelated to what we talk about, but
yeah, and is fucked to say it politely.
that's putting it mildly. You haven't
Yes,
heard
but
the
it
statement.
was actually relevant to the conversation as it was fan fiction.
Yeah, we call that a
Peripherally,
tangential relation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yes.
I'm just saying, the next time Matt and I go off on Gundam, I think we should be allowed to just go 30 minutes, since we'll probably be talking about some garbage fan fiction for it.
Well, see, the problem
Like
is
current
when you
ones.
guys go off on Gundam, is you are the only ones that want to talk about Gundam. And since you never want to
Cass is-
read any
Oh, hang
stories
on.
out loud,
Let's talk about it with us.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's chimed in before. Cruel's
I've
chimed
chimed
in when
in.
he's here, but he's not
Yeah,
here
yeah.
very often.
I've seen a bit, but some of the older ones my knowledge is spotty on because it's been so long since I've watched them.
Been so long. Anyway,
That and
Ah.
my favorite Gundam mecha is still Gurren Lagann, so that's what my main thoughts is on.
that's fair. It's a good one.
Yeah,
Mm,
if you're gonna
holy
pick a
shit.
mecha that's your favorite, yeah, it's a good choice.
Holy fuck. Goddamn. The marbled cookie is extra thick tonight.
Nice.
Well, good for you. You got your money's worth.
Oh, I did. I definitely did. But, yeah. Okay. Well, I can't help but notice we don't go as long when Sign's not here.
Yeah, because
That's
we're not making
because
fun of
Sign
him.
takes us on irrelevant tangents and brings up bullshit.
Yep.
Plus, we spend time making fun of him.
Which
I think it's
makes
mostly we
fun of
spend
him.
time making fun of him.
Making fun of him, clowning on him, just dealing with him, steering things into a weird direction.
Him getting
Yeah, but that's,
gaining
like,
owls.
Fun.
Oh, it is.
Anyway, we will see everyone on Tuesday because there is, unfortunately, always more